How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. We got ourselves more 5V5 1v1 duels this evening. Should be a lot of fun. How y'all doing, though? I was hanging out on PTR looking at the class changes, and while outside of Death Knight, which got into like a pretty big rework for talents, there's also another number of class changes for like just about everybody. Hunter's being one of them, and I was like, I'll probably take a look at Hunter. Probably will be like, I don't know, 15 minutes of work. 45 minutes later, I'm like, there was actually a lot for Hunters, just between BM, MM, general changes, a little survival. I didn't realize how big some of those changes were going to be. It's like, wait a second. Like, survival has this thing where when you have a bleed, for every bleed on a target, you and your pet attack a little faster with autos. They removed a bleed, so that talent also had a component where kill command would bleed the target. So then kill commanding would increase your attack speed, and then if you spread kill command on multiple targets, it would increase it further. But now with that talent, it no longer has a bleed component. So your pets don't bleed on their own. I think maybe there's a bleed with pack leader, but like the only way to bleed is through kill shots if you take a talent, or butchery, or like flank strike, or the one talent spearhead. So it's like a bad talent now. But the buff your wildfire bomb by 50%, I'm like, is that better? Does that make up the difference? It was one of those like, damn, I need to see what the sim numbers are looking like, dude. I have no idea off the top of my head if that's better or not. But it's like, wait a second, that's a dead talent now. It is going to be nicer, I think, running without it, because it's like a lot of cognitive load, but hopefully it'll be a little better. How you doing, Rick? Hope you're having a good one. Log it on, boys, to the EU side of the game here in just a second. Johnny should be here. Plush ain't going to be here, so we'll make a group for Plush, and we'll make a second group, hopefully real quick, like, and we'll be good to go. Also got to do some dungeons. That was really, really cool. My team is ready. Johnny needs 4. Oh, you are leading? Dope. Johnny needs 4? Wait, Johnny needs 4. Johnny needs a lot of people then. Johnny on the block right here. All right. I'm going to help him out as soon as I can. Hope you boys are all having a good one. Let me get the music back up and running. Yeah. Plush is not here. I'm making a team. So you already have a team then, yeah? Beautiful. That is awesome. Let me see if I can join my man Johnny. Johnny, toss me that invite. And we'll hopefully get you guys a couple of bodies here. Yeah? I like this song. It's a good starter. Yeah. You want to pass me lead if you... Yeah, there we go. That's my group. What is it called? 5V5 1v1 duels. Beautiful. That's exactly what I like. Hell yes. Johnny, also, I want to hear your thoughts on the Frost DK changes, man. What do you think? You're our... Johnny, you are our resident Death Knight. You normally at shows, but you are the resident DK. You have taken on that mantle. Whether you want to hold it for him for a short moment or just claim it for your own, up to you. It's really your choice at that point. But, like, what are your thoughts on the Frost DK changes? How you can stack up killing machine to increase that crit damage of obliterate. Oh, also, Frost Strikes, it looks like, give you guaranteed Rhyme proc, so you can get a Frost Rhyme through Obliterates and Frost Strikes, which seems pretty solid. It seems like there's a nice new flow now of, like, Obliterate, Frost Strike, Rhyme. And Rhyme reduces the cooldown of your new Empower Rune weapon, which deals Shadow Frost damage. That's pretty good. Tama, get in here, my guy. Okay, but Tama, we just need 2 more bodies. It'll be good to go. Beautiful. But yo, my man, let me know what are your thoughts on the new changes. Why am I in fire? Oh wait, is the Fire Festival in the game already? Hold on a second. Is the Fire Festival in the game? Because they got some new stuff for the Fire Festival. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, look at that, dude. There's new stuff on here. Oh man. Yeah, look at that. There's the helm. There's the shoulders. There's the belt. There's a cloak. There's a scythe too, back piece. It actually looks cool. It's 350 per. I don't remember if it's a lot to get 350. I'd want all of them though. Hold on, Hearthstone was 300. So, wasn't the Hearthstone like a long ass farm? How do you get those anyway? 1? You only got 1? No shot, you only just got 1. 5? 5? Wait, that's gonna take forever. Frozike good now. It looks interesting. I like the changes they've gotten for them. I really like the changes, although the places we're getting now isn't enough. You don't think so? It needs more? I like how the ritual will be way more complicated now. It is going to be a little bit more involved. That is for sure. I will agree with that. Also love the animation sick overall changes. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I feel like DK, like at least for PvE side of things, it always could use some kind of like a little bit more playability between frost strikes and obliterates. I always wanted that out of the spec, personally. But to each his own, not everybody's gonna enjoy it, but I personally do like it. Personally myself, I really very much like it. But yo, with the holiday out, dude, I gotta grind that. I need not only am I doing time walking, but I got also the holiday. There's so much going on. All the abilities need PvP modifiers, though they don't hit hard in PvP. True, I agree with you on that. I do agree with you on that. It does look like DK might feel better as a dual wield though, instead of two-handed. So we'll see how that goes. Is this flowers? Yeah, let's remove that. That looks weird. We need a couple of bodies, boys, for Team Johnny. Team Johnny. Let me see. I need to pull up a thing. Yeah, what's up? No, DK friend, you know the duels. He is a friend of mine. Hell yeah. Ooh, is it somebody in this group? Bird? Or you mean like in your group with Rick? Hell yeah, that's awesome. The more the merrier. Azrael is back in Rookery. Hey, we doing more duels if you want in. Smiley face. I'm gonna let a Koopa know he can join if he wants to. Cobre, hey, duels? See if Cobre is down. Yesterday he was fine with it. He did ask if we do more today. Broton, yo, that's the name I haven't seen for a second. Bolvank, get in here, my guy. After this dungeon, okay. I didn't realize he's in Rookery. But Rookery should be quick at least, so we'll get Azrael in here or Cobre. Da Joseph Patti. Okay, Colby's in a group already. Wait, you guys put Rick and Colby in the same team? Do we want to do that? Is that what we want to do? Okay. Are there any paladins in the groups? I know we got Leo. I got Tava. So maybe it'll be alright. We'll see. You know what? We'll run it as is. If what, we'll switch up the groups a little. Because I feel like both Colby and Rick are insane. And putting them in the same group together, I feel like that team is just going to be winning games after games. But never know. You ready? I know you guys are. We need one more. We got Azrael, so he said he'll be down after the dungeon. I might just wait for him, honestly. Unless you get more spots. But we got mostly full group. Just need one. Wait, you guys can't even see the stream. What the hell am I doing? There we are. Oh, you guys can't even see it. But yo, we got almost everybody. Almost everybody. Yeah, might be, dude. I'm a great streamer. I know what I'm doing. Dude, this is why Plush or Jake would be normally here. Like, yo, Dal, you messed it up, dude. You're making a mistake, man. What are you doing? Looking at your ugly ass mug. What the hell? Logging over. Okay, Azrael's popping in. Alrighty, so we'll wait for him and we'll be good to go. We should get these groups going real early. Another class that I need to take a look at. Too bad Rogues didn't get a lot of changes yet, but Killing Spree is huge. Tier sets are huge. I also want to go over all the tiers. Dude, I got way too many videos to do. I want to do a video going over like fast gearing during the Turbulent Zombies because you can get some insane gear without stepping in a dungeon. It is insane how strong it is. Like lots of hero track items. It is massive. Then also to the belt tuning, which I want to go over. Then I also want to go over the tier sets because there's so much cool stuff with the tier sets. Extension. Gotcha. You are in. What is this guy doing? Oh, he's I was gonna click the thing and become a Sith rack, but whatever. Alrighty, well we're good then, boys. We are good. Leo lead. I bounce. We go inline spectator match. Johnny boy and Rick Meister. Is it with a Z? It is with a Z. I got it right. I had to guess. I didn't know what your obedient was specifically, but I think I got it right. Hell yeah, dude. First match of the day, boys. Let's go. Oh my god. Dude, I have so many ults for set up for mount farms, and I actually got one of the Drakes of Northwind, the rare, to spawn today. It was so lucky. I barely get to see that guy, but his chance to drop the mount is also... He has a really, like, 5-hour spawn rate, between 3 to 5 hours, and he has, like, a 5% chance for a mount. It is the worst. I really hope they go back to some of those rare, like, mount spawns outside of time loss, and increase the chance to, like, spawn a little bit. Or at least give him a guaranteed mount drop. Something, anything, right? Increase the chance to spawn at least. All rare mounts, all rares with a mount, in fact. I really think they should go back and do that. I think it'd be really cool. Alrighty. Switch. Got ourselves team one together with Bolvank ready to go. He's trying to roll. Maybe he's going first. I can't tell. Really green looking. We got Bird on this team. We got us an extension in the back end. We got us a Leo, but as well as Tomako back in. Looking like a Sith Lord. But it looks like Bulb is going to be first up. His opponent, Orokano Neko. So I'm going to call him Neko just to make it a little bit easier. Or Orokano? Orokano Neko. It is, yeah. Orokano Neko. That's literally his name. It straight up is Orokano Cat. Straight up Japanese, but with Cyrillics. Got himself full Kaboke. Leaping in. Bulb leaping away from the Kaboke. I think that's what he's trying to go for. Is like killer. He's got to break the Kaboke if he's going to go after me. Bash for a second. Big bite trinket at the end, but a wall out for Orokano. Taking him out. That was just so much damage. Full Ascendance was activated, like a proc Ascendance in fact, but it just was not enough. Orokano just walled it and just continued the bites. He knows that as long as he got bites, he can deal immediate damage. He can live this. He can out DPS a Shaman, drinking out of the stun immediately. Leo with a Silencer follow, got himself the Riders of the Apocalypse, full burst in the ready. He's just seeing if he can just chop down Orokano, got himself hard in the wild with Bars, can keep himself alive here as best as possible. Druk setting up a gateway. As Orokano lives this a good bit, it's going to get him with a blind. No kick by the Death Knight yet. And for Orokano, he could go for a kick of his own. I think there was an emergency frenzied. Might be the best spot. Oh, Leo does break out of that stun. Does end up burning a human racial for it. Is bled up a little bit, so it's going to take some damage. But man, that was just a ton of damage there. All real quickly. Summon up a goal, immediate sacrifice. So Rick on this team. Looks like not next. Cobre in the back, also not next. Eloise, we got Satuan? I always want to call him Sashwan. But Satuan. Saturn? I almost want to call him Saturn. Like, I feel like it's just, his name doesn't roll off the tongue at all. At all. So I'm going to probably give him like, I might just call him Saturn. Honestly, I might just do it. That's not his name. I don't care. His current name, Saruan. This doesn't roll off the tongue. I don't know what to do with that H. I don't know what to do with it. Big lives out of Eloise. Does go for the hunt with a fear on to Leo. Does break out of it. That's going to be tricking out of Eloise. Darkness to follow. Leo just trying to see if he can waddle away from the foul eruptions of a demon hunter. For Eloise, this is where you get the most amount of damage. You really got to make sure that every single one of these eruptions gets the most value. Leo with an IBF and AMS just to get himself fully bunkered down. Slows onto Eloise. Just trying to see if he can control her burst. Does go for the lead, breaking out of that grip. That is so good. Throwing out the glaze. That should be maybe a little bit of bleed damage on top of it. But looks like Leo, for the most part, is A-OK. Stunned yet again. As Eloise does not have much to work with here. I-beam available yet again. A bit of a cleave. Does do decent damage to Leo. Is going to go for a bit of immunity on a couple of those blitz. Eloise just needs something to follow up. I don't know if you just slap in the air. I don't know if you even have access to it. Leo was able to catch up a lot of healing, though. But it's going to be Eloise going down. That is unfortunate. Leo caught up a ton of healing there. Was that just jet strikes? He healed a bunch. And Rick is going to be up next. Immediate slows on the pets. If he can control those pets, he'll be in a great spot. And right now, while he's at with his health right now, he can actually go for a lot of death strikes. Only 30% dampening, so he can actually get a lot of healing. Rick is going to pull his pet back with the Eye of Kilrog, which is going to reset the pets back. Summon up the Riders, which is completely random for Leo, is going to give Rick an extra target to just summon demons out of. And that's going to be a couple more Riders out here in the open too. Try to see if you can attack the demon dogs, pulling the Riders behind the pillar, not giving Rick a target to cast on. Kilrock is being used to pull the pet back. Netherward in order to stop the grip into an Axos to Leo. Try to see if he can pull the DK out in the open. It's going to summon up a Ghoul. Try to see if he can back up out of the AMS for Rick. That just gives him an extra target right now with that Ghoul. to get even more demons off of, get those procs, full tyrant, that's all the pets, and they're just going to be all gunning down for Leo. We're just trying to see if he can slow him down. Look at that chain of ice spam, just trying to control the demons as best as possible. That is actually the way that you live. Doom Lord out in the open, however, is not going to feel good. That Shadow Bolt is not going to feel good whatsoever. Leo's got himself a couple of those death strikes back to back, a little bit extra resources to work with. As long as you can just live the Doom Guard and avoid it for the most part, you will be okay. You can interrupt the Doom Guard. Honestly, probably worth it, because the amount of damage that thing can do is quite nuts. Rick, yet again, with that nether ward, trying to make sure the Grims do not connect. IBF out for Leo to break him out of suns, trying to see if he can potentially force Rick to go for a full port. Before he can go for a port trinket, he's going to go for a port. 100% going to go for a port. Fear on the riders, however, they are just running in every direction. Gateway, he knows there's going to be a grip, right? Can he get close enough? He can't. Leo's just stranded out in the open, has to back up out of there. The riders will not be able to get value onto Rick. That is super unfortunate. That was a huge play. Save that AoE fear for the riders specifically, and it's going to pull his pets back real quickly. Putting Leo in a bit of a weird spot right now. Technically, Leo does a Dark Sim. Maybe could find a way to spell steal one of the casts from Rick, like an AoE fear and fear the demons. That would be solid. But where he's at right now, Rick is just going to try to see if he can keep him at arm's reach. Stole Nether Ward. Oh, that's cool. He stole Nether Ward. Not like it's actually going to benefit him, unfortunately. Rick does not have a mortal coil to be reflected back at or anything. That is really cool, though. Try to go for a grip either way. But you can't really reflect Nether Ward grip back to point. That would have been cool, actually, if Death Grip actually pulled you when they use reflect. Pretty sure that's how that used to work at some point, right? Way back in the day, maybe? Like Wrath or something? But I'm pretty sure they cheated at some point. At least I almost faintly, I either made it up in my head or I faintly remember somebody telling me that that's how it worked. I can't remember anymore. It's been a second. That is going to be Leo. Not a lot of health available. Trying to go for a grip, but Rick was still mid-transit on the gateway, and Leo's just put in a spot where it might be really hard to win. 30% dampening. He's got the riders spawning in. Death Pact is technically available. I don't know if he got someone to go to sacrifice it, but he's continuing just to spam as many Death Strike as possible. Rick pulling his main pet back just so Leo does not have anything to Death Strike off of, which is going to make things a little tougher. For Leo, he does sacrifice to go behind the pillar. Honestly, it might be not a bad idea to go for a Death Strike at some point. You sure it wasn't Ashram Power? Maybe Ashram Power. I have no idea, to be honest. IBF out for Leo. Trying to see if he can spell steal a buff from Rick. Technically, he did spell steal something. He stole... No, he didn't. He technically would have been able to steal port. That would have been hilarious if he just could port after where the Warlock's gateway is. Technically could have stolen Charhound, but I don't think he can steal that one. Silence on a Rick. He does go for a trinket with a wall. In front of bolt. Blind for Leo, but he's just surrounded by too many demons and that Doom Guard. Bubbling those shadow bolts into you back to back without a lot of health. Only so much you can do. Trauma trying to go for a full lockdown onto Rick. Dark Pact is the only thing he's really got. Beaming through it. Trying to see if he can shatter him. He's going to go for a big gateway. Dropping down blizzards. Trying to see if he can get the hell back over there. It got himself that ultra. Is going to kind of position him backwards a little. Which is another ward. Trying to see if he can spell steal it. I think he was able to spell steal at the end. Trying to see if he can continue the position onto Rick. He's going to reposition right on top of him with yet another breath. Trying to go for a ring. Is going to be broken. Panda racial for a second. Frostbolt to follow. Into another Frostbolt. Fear for a second. Tamba blocks it. There's going to be Fear right after. Does go for a Comet Storm right out to follow. Rick might be in a bit of trouble here. That's a lot of instances. Locked out on Fear. Got himself an Overlord that's going to deal a bit of damage, but that shield holding on strong for Tamba. Blinking away that knock, and it should be able to lance him down. Needs one more lance. One more lance. One more flurry lands. As the Chaos Mother popped in, he has a block. That's all he's got, and that's going to be yet another Warlock Cobra up next. He's in the Shadowbird on 2. That Infernal with an extra Infernal on top of it is going to hurt. Tom is going to have to block this dude. He's going to have to block it. There it is. 42% dampening. That is unfortunate. What's up, Jake? How you doing, my guy? Brett to follow. Oh, well, the succubus immediately hits it. Bolt 1, and you're done. That is rough. That is not easy at all. Extension going to be second to last for the team 1. We'll have to find a way just to collapse so much damage onto Cobra. Destro versus Fire. One is a lot fast-paced than the other. Destro needs to go for a bit of setup. Longer cast Chaos Bolts, Ruinations. Extension trying to see if he can go on an interrupt. He's going to interrupt him on Fear for a moment, but not able to really lock out the bolt. Trying to go for a breath. Does connect, even though he was mid-transit on the gateway. Dropping down a Meteor around the corner. That is going to be another ward. Can't put that. Eventually steal it, should definitely spell steal it. Got him some big shields, and we'll need a big shield here. Blocked it before the cauterize comes off. Oh, but the Overlord! Overlord still hits! That is a cauterize either way. Trying to go for a burn. Shadow burn might be enough. Shields are in, but Last Bolt out of a portal takes it from Nether portal. That is so much damage. Gorbek had to play it a little defensively with the Firebase chasing after him. Bird with a quick stunner though. Trinket right after. Should be able to charge up to him. Succubus catches him, but it's going to be a Trinket. Got himself immunity to the Mortal while he was midway through midair of a vengeful retreat. Stun. Try to see if he can avoid it. Sigils it down. Look for a kick. He's going to meta to try to see if he can dodge it. Hunt right after. Catches a Cobra who just got caught in the wall. Oh! That fort getting caught in the wall was tough. Sadua. Your last one left versus Bird, who has like no health whatsoever. Try to go for Sigil of Fear. Bird needs to go for hit and runs. Like hit to get some leech off of Sato and then get the hell out of dodge. That's all he can do right now. Literally all he can do is stun, do a bit of damage, or run away. Defenses, run away. No, maybe immunity. Maybe he can immune. He does immune it. That is still a lot of damage is going to be taken. He still needs to use mobility to run away. Line aside at the very least. You got pets. You can generate some resources off of those. Maybe some healing. That's a grip by the DK. That's going to be rough. Darkness down. Oh, I think it might be over now. Oh, lights. Ah, that is so rough. Cobra picking up 2. Leo picking up 2 as well. However, because of Rick, he was able to meet his match. So I wonder if a different arena setup, a different arena area might change up the outcome of that match. Let's get another one going. Rick and Johnny, let me know when you boys both are ready. Or if you need more bodies, let me know, and we can see if I can look up to my real ID and try to see if we can find you guys some bodies. Yeah? We're at 770? Ooh, yeah, we are. Ooh, yeah. Johnny is ready. Beautiful. Rick, let me know when you're good to go, and we'll send it. Just send me like a DM on the BNet. Oh, look at that Xanamog. Oh, look at that, dude. That looks good. That looks good. I still need to get enough time war badges for the mount and the Zendolari civilian set. Ready? Beautiful. Yeah, Jake, actually might be a strong power. But I was pretty sure though at some point Reflect on grip would grip the Death Knight to the target. Was it never like that? Has that never worked? Has it always been like it cancels out the grip? Maybe you're right. Maybe it is an Ashram power. Maybe I confused it. Almost am certain somebody told me that that's how it used to work, but maybe I got trolled. Just did a bunch of Mythic Zeros last night. Halls of Atonement, last boss is going to be so rough. Really? I don't remember what he does, to be honest. I know that there's a chess thing where he was statue minigame he does. That's going to be kind of annoying. Perfect does nothing. Egg reflected a lot of grip and drags him. But like in older expansions, I know on retail it doesn't do that, but I mean like in older expansions is not how it used to work. That would pull the DK to them because it like reflected the effect at you. Or am I wrong about that? Like Wrath, Kata, not TBC. Yeah, even Wrath and Kata? Okay. Never mind then. I guess I got trolled. Troll Viron. We do a big arena for the casters. Blood DK is my gold farmer and there's alliance mobs that try to hold zones. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I was doing some Mythic Zeros yesterday. I did them as Shadow Priest just to get some footage, but I was like, wait, this is actually really fun. I like some of the build variety. I just don't think a lot of the talents are tuned well. But like the idea of going for like a triple death Nazoth pet build with Void Volley, I was trying that out yesterday. It was working really well for a couple of polls, but not all of them. I don't really know if I want to synergize it together with Archon or with Void. Although if I go no Rift, if I go more pet stuff and summoning pets and apparitions and crit damage build, then I feel like I can make Archon work with that. They're gonna get so hard nerfed. Avoid Weaver and summon Templar Shadow Fiends. I did do that at some point. Yes, that was hilarious. Yeah, when enemies are low and you can summon a bunch of them, that was funny as hell. That was awesome though. Where are my hunters at? That's a good question, Dr. Freeze. That is a great question. Where are the marksmanship hunters? We had one yesterday, did we? Which? Got ourselves. Who's going to be first up over for the team? Oh, Tama going to be first up versus Cobra. A bit of a rematch between the two. Last year, I'm pretty sure Tama just ran down Cobra, but he was left with nothing. This time around is going to be a bit of a rematch between the two. You are back to Frostfire. I think that is literally the better build. We got ourselves Leo, we got ourselves Extinction, Bird, and Bolvinic over team 1. On team 2, we got ourselves Eloise, Rick, Sarua, as well as Orakano Neko. Her name though, I like how Orakano Neko's name. It showed up like Cyrillic letters, but like when you read it out, it's just literally Orakano Neko. I have no idea what that's supposed to be, but yeah, I love watching him cook. Yeah, for real, me too. Me too. Need more marksmanship hunters in these. Gonna be checking out Tamba with an interrupt on Cobra. Try to see if he can go for that nether ward. I'm pretty sure Tamba tried to see if he can spell steal it. Got himself the ultra, an opportunity for him to make some damage happen. Ice form and everything is gonna back up out of there with some shifting power though. Just needs to be very careful. The succubus is going to be Cobra actually charging in. He's still got a Mortal, so Tama is probably going to be expecting it. Freeze on the pets. Trick it out for Cobra. Mortal to follow. Fear is going to block it. A real early block as the Tyrant does funnel in a bunch of chaos damage at Tama. And this is where it's going to be Succubus. You see, it's just trying to go for a quick shimmer. That shimmer actually, I guess, gave him a little bit of land inside that if he was looking for one. But Cobra is going to go for a massive biz. That is going to be that extra fiend doing a bunch of that cannibal damage. Tama does have ultra. She's actually okay. Wall out for Cobra. So that's just massive defensive. Big blast of damage to Tama. Yet another hit from the Overlord. Poly really quickly into Cobra. That's not the poly that's going to heal Cobra, but he doesn't even care about doing damage to the guy. He's just trying to lock him down. Maybe looking for another block here. Cobra taking those procs though, and not doing well with them. Cobra not doing well with those Frostfire Mage procs, however. Mortal Coil looking for a bit of a heal. Drain life of the pet, but the pet does get cancelled or just it gets extinguished. One of those two. Maybe CD runs out. That's going to be another succubus. You see for a second. Tama takes a lot of damage. There goes a little bit of that ice block. Does he have a block that heals him or does he not? I think he just has a block with immune. Ring of Frost? Pet doesn't get frozen. Does he have succubus CC? That means you might just take it. Oh my god! Tama! Hold on, Tama. You don't have any more blocks and it's a feral rushing at you. Problem. Do you have shields? That is the question. Panda ratio for a second. Into altar. Blinking away. How much ultra back into a bite though? I think it's over. Oh. He did a great job versus the Warlock. I don't think he has a block that lets him heal though. So he doesn't have a lot of recovery. Oh man, that is rough. That bite out of the feral joint too. Oh. Zorakana is going to try to see if he can potentially shift it around forms and try to see if he can stay away from Extinction. Does pick up a re-stealth, and Extinction eyes are available, so you can pick up one or the other, but he's gonna just kind of sit out in the open. I think he's gonna play around the blink. Gonna let the feral open up with the rake, blink it, and try to see if he can follow up some damage after. Wait, I just noticed you have like your chest piece is the Sylvanas like loyalist chest piece. The heritage set for undead with the tabard. It actually looks kind of cool. You have the straps over the tabard that matches the set. Big burst with a combustion. Full meteor down. Ultra is up. So Extinction is actually okay. He's got him some shields. That is a bit of bleed damage that is going to get reflected back to Orakano Neko. But he does have the shields that last only for a few seconds though. So he really needs to make sure he maximizes them. Valor the shields. Spell stealing from Orakano just to keep him in combat. Might be able to sit down and maybe get himself some food. I think Orakano would just try to poke out to get a Moonfire though. We're just trying to make sure Extinction does not sit down to get any food. He is probably gonna, yeah, he's expecting the feral to open up on him. Blocking it. Does have a heal with a block, however. For Orakano, that is going to be a bit of a reset behind the pillar. Got himself a little bit of that healing. And that's a full heal for Extinction. Does pick up a lot of health at an 18% dampening. Come on to see BM Hunter staring up on us. See what that news said? Bro, yeah, Stampede said is wild. It does so much damage from what I was able to test. It does like ridiculous amount of damage. I think BM Hunters, I feel like every new PTR, BM does an insane amount of damage and then they just get nerfed to the ground. Almost every patch, it feels like. They start really strong because some tuning is kind of wild and then they just nerf them to the ground. I don't know why. Extinction just might add the bleeds. Are we looking at a cauterize? Maybe. He's trying to see if he can ram behind the band. Yeah, he's gonna get dotted. Oh no, shielded. Last second, maybe he can get out of combat. Invis. Still taking lots of damage. Ah, but the food stops a lot of it. That was a ton. Orakano gets some blades though. When you think about it, Extinction just trying to see if he can eat, but he's not able to fight through the blades at all. Orakano does walk in. Shields don't hold on long at all though. He's gonna start bleeding very soon. You gotta get out of combat. There goes a caught. Oh no. Does he have any more shielding? He's trying to see if he can blink away. Does he get out of combat? He does get out of combat. Sitting down for some food. Dude, look at those bleeds though. He was literally sitting down, but bleeds were tearing him apart either way. He's gonna get stunned up. Oh, does not let the Feral get the stun. He actually makes a mistake. Feral Friends is still on him though. Might be able to go for big combust. Trying to go for big damage. Combustion does come down with a meteor. Wall out for Arcana. No. Yeah. Berserk. That wall actually. Extension does not have a lot of health to work with unless you got a shield. Needs to sit down for food. He's having to play like super like anti-burst build, but Arcana just needs a couple of bleeds. He's fine letting those bleeds go into the bit of that shielding, but then after the shield is gone, yeah, together with the vines, that consistent damage is what really helps him. That is rough. That is crazy. Leo is up next. Got himself full stun onto Arcana. Just a couple of frost strikes is all he needs. Is gonna break out of that stun with an IBF. Just continue to cleave him down. Does end up taking it. That was well done. Rick is up next. A bit of a rematch between him and Leo. And actually, I think this arena might be worse for Leo because it does have a lot more space for Rick to run around in. Wait, is he still Demo? He's still Demo. I never see you go Dragon form while in Demo. I always see him in Destro go into Dragon form. It looks good though. I feel like especially with the Malevolence buff, when you get all shadowy, all evil looking, it looks fantastic. Yeah, I'll need to mess around with the actual tier set later though, Jake. I'll need to mess around with that. I haven't actually took a close look at class tier sets. I've been just mostly looking at like the actual like changes so far. Only one I think I looked at is Rogue, but I haven't even messed around with that one. Oh, the Rogue tier sets do look real good though. But I'm talking to a buddy of mine, and we both think that Fatebound is actually probably going to be nuts. Like with the coin flips and stuff, it's actually going to be insane. Like getting those coin flips and getting those double coins too. And then with another talent, you could also basically get like 7 stack coins immediately in the opener. It is wild how good it is. A blind by Leo onto Rick. Leo's already started to take a little bit of the chip and damage from those pets little by little. Immediately hit with a slow as Rick can just try to see if he can avoid him. Does have a ghoul that he can actually cast off of, but he is kind of worried about Leo's position, gripping him out. Leo actually catch Rick in a great spot, trying to knock him, but he can't really send him flying at all. Axe toss does break out of it very, very quickly. Rick with another ward can't really prevent a lot of this damage. That's going to be that scythe reaping right through him. Rick with a wall, trying to see if he can fight through the damage. And Leo with a ledgeboard. Tyrant is going to be in play for Rick, but he's only kind of limited what he can do. AMC down for Leo. He's helping him with the magic damage. Shake him. Rick with a port. Leo needs to catch up a lot of healing. All those pets are right next to him. That's a lot of healing that could have potentially be gotten. Rick is left with no defenses. Leo's also kind of left with limited stealth. He does sacrifice the ghoul. Can go for a death pack. IBF is available. No Doomguard proc. Oh wait, no, he did proc. Doomguard did spawn. That's gonna tear through the AMS quick, at least you fast. Faster than Rick. Rick with the axe toss, breaking out of it. Blind to follow. Do you have another port? Silence. Can't port. Can't port. Oh, and Leo does take it. Oh, the rematch of the century. That's what it needed. Rick is not an easy target. Eloise also not going to make it easy for Leo either. Has plenty of damage with a hunt to follow. Leo, I think, might just go down. Death pack, but he's kind of limited. He can't heal. Oh, I think it's over for Leo. Yeah, Eloise does catch him. That is rough, man. Well done for the both of them, though. Well done. You will lost Frost Fire Mage set because this is now how dumb it is. Do you say you will love or you will hate? You will lost. You mean love? I love Frostfire mages. Fire, Frostfire in particular. Frostfire, Fire, Frostfire, Frost. I like Frostfire Fire actually more than anything. I like the Spell Slinger for Frost just because orbs, but they changed that completely. Hex out onto Eloise's. Bolvank is going to have to hold the fort here. He's got Eloise inside to get through. Trying to go for a big cleave. Bolv got himself big defenses. Wall together with Bulwark. Got himself that Maelstrom. That big ascendance. Eloise needs a ton of damage here. That or defensive goes immunity as Bolv continued to send out bursts back to back to Elo. But Eloise does get a defensive. Looking for a dispel, but it's gonna spawn a volcano under her with the first aid. Looking for that recovery. That's exactly what we were looking for. Fire Mage super fun. Oh yeah, for sure. Love. Oops, 30% Glacial Spike whenever you cast Pyro. Wait a second. Wow, what the hell do you mean? Wait, that's actually sounds awesome. Hold on a second. Now you need to check it out. Gonna be I-beam right now for Luis. Got himself a full meteor coming down from Bolv. A couple of lava bursts is all he needs. Is this guy Tempest? No, he is a the Primordial Birds does a lot of damage on its own, huh? He is a Farseer. He is going to try to see if he gets some of the Farseer procs on the SATA. The SATA got that grip. Going to be yet another knock or leap. Full burst out for SATA. Trying to see if he can stop the Hex. Doesn't even matter. Full burst. He just needs to hold the Shaman next to him for a few seconds while the Riders are in play and just do enough damage. Try to see if he can back up out of this bird. Looking to give him at least an honorable match by the looks of it. It comes down to these two. Sadawa did end up using their birds just now. He's still got defenses, but that's about all he's got right now. For Bird, got literally everything. I like a turtle shell, by the way. I like the whole mop mock. I think it's mop, right? Gotta be a mop. For me, just Glacier Spike. Apparently, with the Ichiro said, yeah, I need to take a look at the whole thing. Just dropped the Infinite Time Reaver with the random dungeons. That's awesome. Wasn't that thing like? Is that thing really rare now? The Infinite Time Reaver. I'm pretty sure, wasn't the Infinite Time Reaver like almost a guaranteed drop because it was bugged when they first introduced it? But then they adjusted the spawn rate so that it is now a very lucky drop. That's great, man. That's awesome. Sadawa immediately seeing Bird leaping on him. IBF bails out of there, waiting for some cooldowns. He got Pillar. He got 20 seconds off until he's got Riders coming back in. Might try to see if he can make himself play into Bird without it. But actually, maybe just wait and game is the play. He's got him some mobility. Try to see if he can back up out of there. Trying to see if he can break out of it for a second. He's got him some. I love his set, by the way. I love how he has a glow every time he uses abilities. Like the shoulders and the helm challenge mode set. It looks so good, dude. It looks so good. Try to get a slow onto Bird. Into a full burst. Full go. Gonna be Bird. Try to see him full immune. Sato can't really attack him, but that's a free AMS. Silence to follow. Bird is backing up out of there. I think Bird maybe was just trying to see if like maybe I could wait this out. Wait, I should just go behind the pillar and wait it out there. That's actually I think is the right play. Start into Sato as you got full I-beam. Metamorphosis to follow the hunt right after. You got yourself the big glaive toss that you can do too. That can do a bunch of damage and does end up getting that cleave. Yeah, I just gotta play it super careful. Leo picking up two. Orakana Neko picking up two as well. Well done, boys. Let's go. According to Google, it's 0.25. Wait, 0.25%. So 0.3%. No shot, right? Then when you drop till now. Hold on, I gotta take a look at that real quick. Rick and Johnny, let me know when your voice is ready. We'll get another going. Is that time reaver mount actually that low? No shot, right? 775, 6. Johnny's ready. Rick, let me know when you're good. Wahed Infinite Time Reaver. There it is. Oh wow, hold on. It actually does have a very low drop rate, doesn't it? What is this drop chance? Thousands of bosses, never seen a drop. People apparently have counted like 2,000 boss kills. What is the drop rate for it actually? Apparently it can be contained in the time warp treasures too for Black Temple and stuff. Seriously, what is the drop rate of this thing actually? It doesn't say on Wowhead for some reason. Wow rare mounts. Isn't there like a website that could tell you data for Azeroth? Reaver. Infinite Time Reaver. Apparently 31% of players have it. But it doesn't actually tell the drop rate. Drop chance. You're right, actually, yeah. Google does say 0.25. Extremely low. Has a 1% drop rate. Wowhead says it has a 1% drop rate. Wait, what does it say that? 1%? Is it a Wowhead comment? Drop rate. Nothing, actually. 1 in 1,000, apparently. I believe it's set to 0.01. Holy, dude. So it is like 1 in 1,000. That is crazy. 0.05, 1 in 4,000. Dude, that is crazy. You gotta kill like 4,000 bosses to at least even maybe potentially see it. That's insane. I never realized it was that rare. Holy, apparently 31% of players have it though. So people have it, people are getting it. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably got it when it was like basically guaranteed drop. Because I'm pretty sure there was a bug early on where it was essentially like pretty much it was dropping all the time. Or like really high chance to drop. Like they forgot a 0 somewhere. Or they forgot to where they wanted to put the decimal point in. But yeah, fire magic utilization spike. It looks like with the new tier set for Frostfire, you might be able to use one ability or the other depending on what you cast. It looks like Pyroblast casts a Glacial Spike is what Jake said. I haven't got to try it at all. But that's crazy. 20% chance Glacial Spike whenever you cast Pyro. That is nuts. I do love that thematics of it though. Oh, Koopa, did you see what they did for Outlook tier set? They basically took our hold on a second. We got the hold on. Audio. I gotta get that going. Oh, Death Knights are fighting. Death Knight v Death Knight fight. Leo versus Sadua. Sadua got himself the full big burst while Leo's going for a little bit more light content. But he's got himself apparently big hits. Holy Sadua. Oh, that was quick. They just clash together in the middle. Sato playing the big Remorses build that gives him that massive Remorses Winter during Pillar of Frost. Leo isn't playing that, but apparently his Death Strike setup is enough to outmatch it. He didn't even send a lot of cooldowns. He just dropped down AMZ, whereas Sato would trade IBF and AMS, but he get cleaved through. Apparently AMZ is the play. He also did silence the other Death Knight, so I wonder if that ended up helping. I think they traded silence on each other, actually. And it's going to be up next with Rick, though. Holy, Leo just sending quite a few cooldowns there onto the DK, and now he's going to go versus a Warlock? Double Felguard immediately in play, and Leo needs to find himself an angle. Breaking out of it. Another word stops that grip. That is so unfortunate. Leo is kind of stuck behind the pillar. That is going to be all the pets on him. With the Tyrant, with the pets empowered, with the constant pressure, with that extra Demon Doggo. I love how the Tyrant is still broken, though. Once he can't reach you, he'll just walk up to auto attack you. What's up, Alex? How you doing, my guy? Welcome, welcome, welcome. As Leo got himself a little bit of dam. Try to see if he can just slow down these pets, actually blinding out that extra Felguard just so he give himself a little bit of recovery. As long as these pets are in play, he knows that Rick is going to do a ton of damage to him. Rick, however, seeing the Riders of the Apocalypse out and about, he can summon up Demon Doggos, send him over to Leo, and with the tears that they got right now, it actually is quite a significant bit of damage. Grip him with the silence, Rick with a trinket, most likely has a port available. Try to see if he can maximize range. Does go for the port as he's stunned up, but he's not going far at all though. Leo breaking out of the stuff with IBF. There's going to be another word. Try to see if he can back up out of there. Mortical does connect with Leo, who's just trying to see if he can waddle over to Rick. Rick has nowhere else to go for a little bit. The Riders are all in play. And if the Riders just attack Rick, he might actually be able to make some damage happen. Finally, they're attacking him. Looking to get himself some cast in, but that's going to be a Tyrant. He's trying to see if he can go for line of sight because he's just getting casted up by all these pets with the cast mother. Not going to feel good at all. But the Death Strikes are still pretty strong. 10% dampening does still allow him to get quite a few value on those Death Strikes. Interrupting the Tyrant. Rick trying to see if he can position himself around Leo. Blind for just a second. Got himself a little bit of healing. Still has himself the ghoul, so potentially could sacrifice it. Rick, silenced for a moment, does rip the soul out of Leo's body for a second here, reducing his healing and damage, but he's not deterred at all. Does he have another gateway is the question. Rick needs an escape here, because otherwise standing next to Leo while he's got some damage, not going to feel good. Leo, however, is limited. He got a hit and run build, so he's got a hit, and then he's got to run. He's got to bail out of there. Fjord right after, can't really break out of it. Axos by an extra Felguard, not gonna feel good at all. Death Strike's only thing barely keeping him alive. I don't think he's even has AMS available. However, Fury of the Frostworm is back very, very soon. He will have a silence, he will have quite a lot to work with. Try to see if he can recover some health here. Whatever runic power he can pick up, these imps are just everywhere though, surrounding him. With action demons spawning in. Try to see if he can Wraith Walk while AMS is active. Back it up out of there as best as he can. First in for just a quick second. Still under a ton of pressure. Might just go down here unless he can pick up some health. He needs healing. Blind on these pets for just a moment just to interrupt them. And at least he can go for Death Strikes. At the very least, he can go for a couple of Death Strikes. His health is just absolutely so low. Using Frostworm just to stun these pets? That is a moment of desperation, it feels like. Pure desperation, like, I gotta make a play now. Another word out for Rick really early. Does go for the port. Most likely has a gate available. Axtos does grip him. Silence to follow. Rick trinkets out of it. Mortal immediately. Leo does not have AMS for this one. Destrix is still available. I don't know. He got Lichborn. That's gonna give him an extra bit of DR. And he does at least have the main pet to Death Strike off of. Rick is most likely gonna pull that thing back in just a moment here. Dude, watch a Leo cell just go towards the very bottom and then crawling back top. Is so intense. Like, how is he gonna live? 90% dampening, and Rick is still just continuing to summon up even more demons, pulling his main pet back with the Eye of Kill Rock for a moment, just to give it some health funnel, just to give it a little bit of healing. First aid to Leo does not have the ability to go for first aid himself, unfortunately. Maybe if he blinds the pets and walks away from them for a bit and then starts first aid with a slow death and decay, maybe he's gonna go for a blind on the main pet. Is he trying to see if he can just kill the Felguard? He is just striking off of it pretty regularly. Seeing that Eye Kill Rock, he knows he needs to make a play. That's going to be another word. He knows there's also going to be a Mortal at some point. He doesn't have a trinket for it. That's unfortunate. He can't break out of it at all. He does have human ratio to break out of a stun. Tyrant though in play. Axtos yet again. Locking him out. Deathstrike is the only thing keeping him alive right now. Does have Death Pack. Haven't used Death Pack, but he's now locked himself out of the ability to heal with no health to work with. Oh. That is so much damage. How do you deal with a Demon Warlock like that? Oh man. At some point he had to burn the full Frostwind's Fury though. Full Dragon. Out of desperation just to CC the pets for a moment. I think if he just could use that full Riders offensively onto Rick maybe with a silence, maybe he would have been okay, but it's just, man, it's just so hard to recover. Rick got himself such great positionals. Extension is also taking a ton of damage. Maybe looking for a block. Does go for a trinket. I think he was trying to go for a trinket. And then something to follow up. And then decided with trinket. Never mind. I'm so low. I might as well block. I might as well get some recovery here. Shifted power just to give himself a little bit more health to work with. Rick is kind of low in health though. Wait, did Rick end up Axtos in one of the images? I think he might have ended up Axtos in one of the images. Rick going for a port. Trying to go for a Tyrant. Looking out to get interrupted. Does get juked though. That's going to be a breath. Does not really hit him with a precog. Cannot get CC'd. Does give Extension an opportunity to at least get some damage. Shields are in. Might be able to make this work. Shields reflect a lot of damage. Cauterize. I think you should have just stayed in. I think you should have just stayed in. Trying to see if you could get a kill. But I think it's just over. Meteor around the corner. Barely into shielding. Wait, Rick's so low. You do it. I'm getting it. You do it. I'm getting the revenge kill. I am surprised. He's alive! He's actually alive! Eloise, do give him a chance. No, wait. I don't think he's gonna give him a chance. Polly, you muted trinket. Yeah. Extension. Ooh. That was a good Nova. Seeing the hunt? Nova. Does not put the Haunter cooldown for Eloise though. Just stops it so the cooldown doesn't get used. Stun. There's gonna be a hunt here, yeah. No, what do we need? No, we'll need it. Alter? Oh, you have like no health. Altered. You can maybe shield. Got himself a little bit of the range damage to Eloise though. As long as you can stay away, you might be okay. He could always break out of a stun with a blink. So at least he's got that. Breath. Ring of Frost. Oh, knock him back. Avoiding Abyssal Gaze. Immunity out of Eloise for a second. Excision still needs health. Really badly. If he gets hit with the bleeds, he'll be in a bad spot. Try to see if he gets some damage towards Eloise and does take it. He's got two. But like no health still. Wait, if Cobra just walks in, it's just over, right? The Rain of Fire. Does anybody here not do honor duels anymore? Oh, Succubus too. It's over. Knock that thing back. It's done, dude. It's done. It's done. Oh, man. What a way to die, at least, man. You know what I mean? At least you're gonna die. At least you die, get a whip by Succubus. Honestly, worse ways to go out than that. Big bolt into Bird immediately. Got himself full in prison. Bird, trying to see if he can get himself some sort of a setup here. Full immunity out for Bird. And Cobra backing up out of it completely. Bird actually under a ton of pressure. Just walked in, bolted, and it's just dead. And it's just dead. That's Destro for you, dude. That is Destro for you. Bullbank immediately get hit with a Succubus you see as he opens up. Cobra just out there with the inner root just waiting for him. Literally pulling him with a succubus just so you put him on the line of sight so you can cast on the guy. Like, as Bullbank does pop a wall here really early for Cobra, he's in a decent spot right now. That glide from Draxier, that mobility it adds to you is just enough mobility to give you some recovery. Lava Bird's gonna send back a Bullbank, unfortunately. It is gonna be a bolt with a Pit Lord around the corner though. Not gonna feel great. Bullbank having to go for a lot of self-healing. Kind of knocking himself out in the open from a pillar, which is unfortunate. Definitely needs to go for as many healing surges as possible. That Succubus can stop a lot of the healing. 48% dampening. Ah, the Bonza fell into Cataclysm. It's over. Did he kill Succubus? No, he didn't. That was tough, dude. Hold on. From the Demon Hunter into a Shaman? So far, Cobra is on a roll. Can he do the same thing to Tama? Or is Tama going to be able to stop a lot of his go here? Overlord immediately charges in. Breaking past Tama's defenses, cause him to take more damage. And that Axe Toss itself, or that Axe Heave, what do we call it, is actually pretty big. How you doing today? I'm doing pretty good, Alex. How about you, fam? How are you doing? Hope you're enjoying the duels for the night. Tama back behind the pillar, a little bit of that shifting power, trying to see if he can get himself some cooldowns. Apparently used Ice Form already? Really early, I guess. I didn't even realize it. Cobra setting up a... Oh, trying to see if he can set up a, something over to Toma, but he trinkets just to interrupt. A bit of that Nether Ward. Trying to see if he can get that spell reflect on Toma. Toma looking to see if he could spell steal it. Blocking this damage. Yeah, he doesn't have a block that lets him heal. So he's playing for like a full-on, like, hey, I just want to stop damage. It just keep going. Stop damage for a moment. It just keep going. Not a bad move. As long as you get shields, you might be okay. It does mean you have limited value on your defenses. But it's going to be full Inferno with a wall. And now I actually get him to be away from Cobra for a second. Belting away at him while wall is slowly falling off. He does have a dark back. Tama can go for yet another setup. Maybe Ice Block? I don't know if he's able to go for another one. I think it's over. Oh, no. He does block the go by the Overlord, but he's like no health. I think he just Shadow Burn away. He might be able to shield himself immediately for his global. No, it doesn't even get a chance. That is unfortunate. And Cobra picking up 3, but Extension though picked up some of the most clutch wins out of his duels. Some of the most clutch wins. Especially against Cobra in particular, because that was just a lot of damage. He started running out. I was like, I gotta get back in there. One more shield, bit of blast, made it out with barely any health. It was glorious. Holy. Literally going down in a blaze of glory, but taking as many people as he can with him. It is beautiful, man. Beautiful. Oh my god. 777, boys. Lucky numbers. Doing alright, I would say. That's pretty good. I still can't believe they're getting rid of Guillotine to keep Immutable Hatred. Yeah, that's another thing I need to take a look at is the Warlock setup and their talents. Rick and Johnny, let me know when the boys both are ready, or if you need more bodies, I'm gonna get another one going, yeah? Let me know, boys. Real quick. There's no PvE gain or value in any of those challenge changes. Done. Personally, it's all PvP focused. That's a little disappointing. Man. Oh, I'll still need to take a look at it at some point though. Maybe I'll put the Warlock on the back burner then. We'll see if Rick is ready. Johnny needs one, so if you guys want to join Team Johnny, they got a group listed under Raids Legacy real quick. Group is up. If y'all want to join in, man, now is the best time to do it. Join up. We'll give them like a minute. If you guys aren't able to get one, I'll join the group and I'll see if I can find somebody on my real ID. Midsummer Fire Festival is live, new bonfires. Yeah, dude, I gotta do a video on Midsummer, I think. Especially if like the farming for the new items and everything that's new there is worth it. I got so many projects I gotta work on, man. Between 11.2 and like live stuff, there's so much. There's so much going on, man. I love it though, actually. This is probably the best time to make WoW content because like there's so much to talk about. I'm gonna be busy. I don't need to think about what video ideas to work on. I can just work on it all. I'm just never gonna get sleep. We'll lose the dog damage and increase shadow damage uptime. We're already lost of damage. Then just slap us with a weird crit scaling. It probably won't be taken because Doom is 100 times better. Damn. That is unfortunate. Alright, I'll put Warlock on the back burner in case they get like more new stuff. But it seems like Tirset is the only cool new thing, yeah? Oxymoron, that's a great name actually. I like that. Ooga Booga, what a good name too. Holy. Ooga Booga. They're 5 and they're good. Rick, let me know when you're good, my guy, or if you're good to go. And we'll send another one. Is Rick there, boys? Is Rick there? Afflicted Tirset actually works. That is crazy. I'm trying out Ecodome right now. Nice. I like Ecodome as a dungeon, by the way. It looks cool. I like the checkpoint thing they got going on. That's sick. And the bosses kind of look interesting. I think there's going to be a little bit of this, like, not super crazy. Someone change to another class. I'm cool with that. Yeah. Need a second? Sure thing. Do your thing. The checkpoint stuff is good. Just wish you could do between them. TP between them. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome if you could just like walk up to a check. Well, I mean, why would you really need to though? Because it's really there if you die, right? Best part of the Chocolatero set is the Soul Harvester was doing, so two are eating well with that. Oh, the broken tears cells, so it's Soul Harvester, so two of the specs. Yeah, I guess so. When's the last time wasn't Demonology Warlock for the most part always Diabolus for like PvE content? I don't think they've ever been Soul Harvester, and this might be their first season where they could viably play it, right? Or did they play Soul Harvester in the past? Because I always felt like it was way too passive for them. Wasn't it? Rick, let me know when you're good to go, my guy. While waiting for Johnny, he said he's got a couple of people that need to swap around. Friend of mine might join the other group, see the message if he sees my message fast. Haha, okay. Okay, they're good. Okay, no, Rick is ready. Never mind, Rick is good. Ready, beautiful. We are set. We are doing a I don't even know, arena. So Harvester can be better than ST, I think, but you gain too much return from Diabolos. Yeah. Like, I saw that technically you can play the demo, like for the last 2 seasons. Like, you can play Soul, but Diabolos is like only slightly better, and it has some defensive value or utility value. So it was like, you might as well play Diabolos just because it's good. Well, time to learn how to play Kata Arms so I can be good enough to get 2400. Are you actually gonna be playing for 2400? What, with the end of the season stuff? Might as well, right? Might as well, yeah. How you doing, by the way, Wob? You're prepping for Mob, by the way? The Mob got a bunch of class buffs too recently. Apparently they buffed up a bunch of specs too. So Harvester most boring to play. I can see that because it is like, it doesn't actually change your rotation or gameplay, it's just a passive. Diablo's more stuff to enjoy. I agree with that. Yeah. I think for Affliction, Soul Harvester is interesting because it changes the way that your soul shards are spent. You can just start spending them immediately and it's shattable procs and buffing up the other kit. Just for Demonology, probably you don't have that, right? For Affy, it looks like there's interaction to it because it just gives you loads of shards and you kind of want to spam stuff, while the other with Hellcaller, you want to save stuff. So it just ends up changing rotation a little. Between 200 mob for Tyranny enchant, bro. OG Tyranny enchant would be so good, huh? That'd be sick. The OG. Alrighty, let me get this going here, boys. We got switch. Wait, okay, switch. Audio apparently didn't kick in until a little bit later. Birdie switched over from a demon hunter to a priest, though. Ooh, I like that. We got Goers and a priest too as well. Extension, we got Leo, we got Thomas, we got a lot of casters. And Leo leading those casters. Birdie, first up, immediate Void Torn onto Sadawa. knows that he needs to play around that big old burst that he's got going on. Trying to see if he can expect it. Fading immediately. Void Blast him. Sadawa was saving the burst for a little bit. Got himself grip. Got himself a setup. Trying to see if he can set up Birdie in the corner. Maybe just try to see if he can go for silence. That is going to be a stun. AoE damage. Some mage got gripped out, so he's going to end up getting cleaved. Extension trying not to fight. He just got to back away. Birdie able to back away from Sadawa's burst completely. I think was able to fade it. No, disperse it. Big burst without full torrent was playing Saturday. It is over for Sadawa, I think. That rift is going to consume you. Before the rift can even consume, just a couple of DPs, it takes it. You gotta love Void Weaver Shadow Priest, man. The big channel, the big drain with the rift. It is satisfying. It is glorious. Rick, however, is going to be up next. From a matchup that's very, very doable to a matchup that's going to be deadly. Birdie, I think, is going to have to implement the same strats, though. They're going to have to implement exactly the same strats. Get some healing off of the pet and get those channels onto Rick. You have to get those channels every single time. Might even be a good idea to fear the pet, get a channel onto Rick so you can't get interrupted, but you really are going to need those big channels. He's going to go for kill Rock to pull that pet back, unfortunately. But you're definitely going to have to get those channels into Rick. The more of those you can get, the better. Because Rick is going to poke out in the open from time to time. And when he does, you got to be ready. You got to have to be very, very careful with it, but you definitely have to get those channels. See him for a second? He's sending out an extra pet. There's going to be another axe toss. You got to expect it. Mind Flake spam is coming out. Let's try to see if we can juke out that other Felguard pet. That's right outside. He's going to axe toss at some point. That's going to be a Reflect. Try to be very careful with it. Is maneuvering himself around. Tyrant potentially could be in play. It looks like Tyrant is going to be in play. You might just have to fear the pets. There goes the fear. Looking for a heal. Might just need to find a way to get on top of Rick to get yourself a channel. I think you have to Birdie. Try to see if you cut across down the middle. There's going to be a port for Rick. He's just going to try to see if he can fight you without line of sight. Stuns him out in the open with a full torrent. Trinket axe toss. I don't even know if you needed to trinket for it. Mortal Coil right after. For Birdie, if you could get a bunch of DPs too for that rift. It does a decent bit of damage on its own. It does a decent bit of overall guaranteed damage. It'll just chase after Rick. As he goes for a silence, try to go for a blast. We'll need to be very careful with those pets. Able to survive a good portion of those pets, however. Fear around the corner, Fear right after. He's able to fade it. Fear on the Warlock and the pets. Able to finally dot him up. Doom Guard around the corner. Not going to feel good. Mind Games try to see if he can potentially reflect it. Will not be able to. Ruination to follow right after. Birdie looking for a bit of that healing. Definitely needs more rifts. There goes the rift, but he's going to axe toss it every time, which is so unfortunate. That is so much free good damage. That Rift is still chasing. If you could catch up back to him with a couple of DPs, Rift I think still goes on with damage. DPs are down, at least PI is available. Birdie looking for recovery. Mortal Coil, however, with a fear to lock him down. That is super unfortunate. He's able to break out it fairly quickly though. He's just not in a great spot. I think he definitely needs to dot up all the pets and everything. He is definitely getting those shadow crashes on the main Felguard. The pets too, the demon doggers. At least he's got flashlight light to heal himself. Rick is just trying to play a game where he's just sliding Birdie the entire time though. So I don't know how Birdie's gonna do this. That's a full Tyrant, more pets behind the pillar, all of them amped up. There's gonna be a ton of pressure, potentially even disperse. Fear on the pets. He at least got enough mana and looks to flash heal. Another ward out onto Rick. Most likely has a Mortal Coil to follow up. Fade by Birdie. Try to see if he can catch up to him. Board immediately. What is this line of sight plays, man? Birdie's Aegis, however, does end up proccing, unfortunately. If anything, Birdie does have a lot of survivability. He gotta find a way to get those rifts onto Rick, though. He's gotta find a way to get those rifts onto Rick. I don't know if you can, like, start a rift off the main pet and then somehow, like, DP Rick so the rift, like, moves from the pet towards Rick or something. I don't know how you can do it. Might be able to find a way though. I have no idea if you can. He definitely is gonna have to get some shadow crashes, some stuns around the corner versus Rick. He's got a ton of different pets, man. He's got a ton of different pets he can just keep putting in over and over and over. This is gonna be a tough one. I think it's gonna be actually a pretty tough matchup. Rick trying to see if he go for Shadow Fury. I think he's trying to see if he can bait Birdie out in the open to get his fade out really early. Yeah, looks like that's exactly what he's trying to go for. At least Birdie's got a lot of healing that he can do behind the pillar. He still got VE and everything. Immediate Nether Ward. Just literally, as soon as you see them walking around, baited Nether Ward out of him. So Birdie actually did get a decent proc. A decent little thing out of Rick. Although Rick is gonna port, I think. As soon as he sees Birdie, gonna port. This is gonna be such a back and forth though, man. I think it's gonna be such a back and forth. Does get a Pit Lord. I think it was a Shadow Crash. I don't even know if it connected. I don't even know if it actually connected. Birdie is still just chilling behind there with a pillar. Does get himself a proper rift onto Cobra finally. Immediately gonna try to see if he can pour it out of there, yeah? Immediately. That Rift is gonna slowly maneuver over to him. A couple of DPs as he goes for an Axos, but Birdie is able to get himself tossed behind the pillar. It is gonna be Tyrant. Does end up going for a few on the Spets a little early though. But at least they are feared and running in all directions. Mind Games on a big pet, so at least he's going to start healing Birdie even a little bit. But it's going to be all those pets with Axoses, with a big dispersion out from Birdie. How would he play defensively? Rick, I think, might just want to try to see if he can potentially make a play here. Another ward on top of it, so Birdie can't really do anything because it's going to really reflect it back to him. Has VE, definitely should use VE whenever possible. That's going to give him at least some healing. Having to go Void Short VE on the demons just to get whatever health he can get back. With Shadow Crash on top of it, dumping DPs down into the main big pet as Rick tried to see if he can maneuver over. He's gonna pull that pet back really quickly. Dude, how do you beat that? The problem with that is Rick is sending out all the demons behind the pillar, so he doesn't ever get light inside of Birdie, which is tough for Birdie because he needs those channels in the first place. But Rick also just has a ton of CC, and he has more mobility than a Shadow Priest. Not like Warlocks are the most mobile, but between a port and gateway, he can just get out of dodge immediately, like really easily. Birdie, however, does get a proper Void Rift onto Rick, who's literally gonna port just to limit that Rift damage. That is so tough. The Rift does do some damage, but Birdie just cannot follow up, man. Just can't really follow up. Shadow Crusher on the corner. I think he just knows it's over, right? Yeah, he just knows it's over. Damn. He had such a good go at the very beginning versus the Death Knight, but then the Rick walks out and is like, you know what, I'm gonna cheese him behind the pillar. Tama trying to see if he can stop Rick cheese as best as he can. Ring of Frost and all the Spets. Rick does end up going for a big gateway, ripping Tama's soul out of his body, backing up out of there fully. The massive demonology Warlock, man, the amount of demons he can summon and the control he has with mobility. Tama is basically just gonna have to get in there as soon as Rick is out of options, as soon as he's out of mobility. Blizzards are gonna help slow down his go just a little bit. He did use port, or at least gateway, but he does still have port available. And Tama getting hit with an axe toss that is super unfortunate. Potentially could interrupt his next cast. Rick being very careful with his interrupt. What did he port to? I didn't even see, honestly. Rick does go for the port, but doesn't go far. Tama able to catch up to him easily. Ring of Frost, Axe Toss, that's unfortunate. Fear to follow. Panda Racial, Frostbomb getting set up. He still can go for Ring of Frost. He can't get stunned anymore. That's going to be another ward for a second. Wall out for Rick. That's a lot of defenses for Rick right now. As Tama does get hit with a Mortal Coil. Block to follow. As Tyrant is going to be in play. That is going to be Doom Guard as well. That is not going to feel good. Tama needs shields for this. Or Invis. Invis also works too. Water LD taking a lot of the aggro from those pets, which is perfect. Literally just say Invis for a second until Doomguard is faded, because now Tyrant can't even do much either. Hits it with a quick breath, Ring of Frost to follow. That pet is going to get CC'd. If he goes around the corner, full Shattered combos onto Rick. Might be in a bit of trouble. Meteor comes down, but the Dark Bag holds on strong. Does get himself a port to put himself back behind the pillars, back behind the grates. Shifted power is out. Summoning a Gloomhound as well. He's got himself Gateway. I don't know if he can use it. He can use it. Never mind. I was going to say for a second. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. And Tama is still in a bit of a rough spot, man. Man, said the Feral after. So the order that they have for those duels is not really like they get to choose who goes next. It's more of a random roll to find out who's going to be the order, so that it's fair for everybody, usually at least. Big hits into Rick. Hold on a second. Rick was just getting blinked away little by little, but itself was never taking a big damage until Tama got himself a fatty Frostfire Bolt just now. What was that hit? Wait, Rick might just go down. Hold on a second. Maybe this Warlock does bleed. Tyrant with an Axe Toss. Not going to feel good. Oh! I don't know if he had a block available. I think he's already used all these blocks now. Unfortunately, Extinction up next with the Ring of Frost on the pets is actually going to stop it. Look at that momentum. Transfer from one mage to the next, and Extinction immediately taking so much damage. Ultra is available. He's going to be able to get himself some health. Combustion still in play. Got himself a bit of healing, but it is really about dampening. Axe Toss blocking it. Rick is going from one to the next, man. Can this Warlock be stopped by anybody? Extinction, maybe. If he has himself a blink it a little early. Oh, a couple of procs into Rick taking him out. So it does end up being able to take him out either way. Cobra immediately opens up the gateways to the nether portals, dude. The nether storm. Just letting him barrel down into Extinction. Who's just not in a great spot. Can't sit down for food. Constantly getting harassed by Succubus. That is going to be a combustion on the other, or Cataclysm on the other side with a Bonzafell. So if he stays in, Cataclysm hits him. If he moves, Bonzafell hits him. Just put in a situation where he can't really do much, man. That is unfortunate. As he gets himself no help whatsoever. Trying to see if he can Nova the pet. Yeah, ain't gonna be able to heal. Playing around the big shields means you basically can't heal. You can get massive damage reductions, or at least reflecting absorption, but you only can stop the burst. That's really about all you can do. Trying to see if you can spell steal another ward if at all possible. Got himself a little bit of health there, just a tiny bit, but that portal ain't gonna feel good. Every single one of those ticks. Every one of those ticks. It's over. Yeah, that is tough. That is tough. Cobra is not last one actually. They got ourselves Goeris, they got ourselves Leo. Last on team one. Who's up next, boys? One of you two gotta go. One of you gotta go, man. Get hit 2200 for practice. Fair enough, fair enough. Mop lol. Mop? What do you mean lol? Mop is a fan favorite expansion. It was a weird one because at first people were like, wait, is this a joke? But nah. DK grows up balls? What do you mean grows up balls? You're talking to Leo? It's really up to one of them who's going to go next, man. I think just one of them was AFK. It is going to be Goeris, or Goeris lols, rather. Dropping Infernal immediately around the pillar with a trinket into a fear. Trying to see if he can land a fear into Cobra. Does not connect. He is still playing Archon, however, so he's not the Rift build. He is the Archon, so he needs to go for that full channel. Halo is going to be Reflect. Goeris is under a lot of trouble. Goes in for Disperse. He got PI. He's got potential a lot of damage, but versus Cobra, I don't know what he can really do in this situation. He's got to get those flays channeled. That's the only way he can really make anything work. Fade, but it just goes down. There's just way too much damage. By the time he needs a setup, Cobra immediately already has all the instacasts for him, and Leo's the last one left. Walking into this match, 12 minutes into the duel, 64% dampening, trying to see if he can make some sort of a play. Look at my team cheat, so I had to find all the pet classes. Yo, honestly, maybe we might just need to do that, right? Might just need to get Cobra and Rick into two different teams. Might not be a bad idea, honestly. Leo dropping down a full stun onto Cobra. Mortal Coil coming in, but he wasn't off just to continue pummeling him. With bolts after bolts, Leo did an absorbing one of those bolts for a ton between IBF and the dome. Does end up giving him quite a lot of damage reduction. Cobra, low health whatsoever, might just go down here, and Leo does end up cleaving him down. If Eloise is next, I think Leo might be able to live, or Arcana Neko. However, I think those bleeds are just going to rip right through you. He doesn't have anything to follow up. Trinkets. That's going to be immediate Feral Frenzy. Bleeds already rolling in. Bites that follow up. That's going to be brutal. I think he's just done. That is so rough. Wait, so Cobra and Rick, dude, the two Warlocks, the amount of damage you can do is nuts. The two Warlocks, you're just dominating it. Can't really beat them that easily, huh? Warlock team, the Warlock is a beast, not gonna lie. Oh, Rick, he's really, really good at duels. Definitely really good at duels. I'm assuming Cobra, also really good at duels too. Let's get another one going, boys, yeah? Uno mas, uno mas. Rick and Johnny, let me know when you guys are ready. Also, Rick, if you want to separate your team so two Warlocks play against each other, let me know, because we can maybe send somebody from Team Johnny to your team, and you guys can send Cobra over to Johnny, so we can have a bit of that. Like, pet classes could be not on the same team, yeah? Maybe. I mean, I guess you could argue that Destro isn't a pet class, but like, it kind of is though. Johnny needs a one more. So technically, you guys could do that right now, actually. Johnny does need uno mas. So we could do that. Yeah, let's reroll teams. Cool. Johnny, Rick is down to reroll teams. So if you guys just want to restart the teams, put them in LFG, and try to take new players, new bodies, that could work too. If you guys want to do that. So we'll have the groups listed in LFG again, yeah? We could do it like that. Yeah, Rick restarted the group completely. Some of the boys on Team Johnny, you could jump ship and go to Rick if you want to. So some of the guys from Rick team can go back to Johnny. So if you want to separate, try a different team, go on Team Demo. If you don't want to fight a Demo Warlock, join Team Demo real quickly. He's also listed on the Molten Core in LFG. So just look up Molten Core. If you don't want to fight a Demo Warlock, join Team Demo. And then people on Rick can go join Johnny. That could work out, yeah? That'd be perfect. So mix yourselves up a little bit, boys. Okay, I don't join group of hunters and all tier set. A guy had 50 jackpots in a minute. What is that? Don't join groups of hunters and all tier set. So wait, are they just constantly procking? Alright, cool. Good to know. Bunch of jackpots apparently. We're literally jackpots, man. Literally lucky. Ready and ready. We are golden, boys. Let's go to... What arenas didn't we do yesterday? We didn't do Blade's Edge. I don't think you guys want to do Blade's Edge, though. Do we do Dalaran Sewers? I think it's a small enough arena, right? Yeah, let's do Dalaran Sewers. Small enough arena. Might be able to make something work off of this one. Alrighty, and let's see. Let me see, boys. It's gonna be... Did I save it? Okay, I'm not sure if I did, so I'm gonna do it like that. Yeah. Cool. And we do this, and we do this, and now we're good. Beautiful. Alrighty, we're good. To Twitch. So now I'm no red palette and no priest if you actually want to test the dungeon. Wait, what's wrong with priests? Shadow priests, you mean? Are they that strong too? No shot. I played one yesterday. We seem to do decent damage. Or maybe it was me and this other priest, but maybe both of us were pretty broken. Guerrero is going to be first up all over the team one. It's going to be all the tyrants, all the pets, everything available for Rick immediately. He's got himself, look how many counts he's got. A Charhound, Gloomhound, and a Vile Fiend. Well, Guerrero is having to deal with even more pets than normal. Full Void Torrent, trying to see if he gets some damage. Aid is proccing, Desperate Pair active, maybe looking for a disperse. He's got himself VE though, hold on. Vampiric Embrace is doing a lot of healing. Is starting to save off some of the damage he's taken as long as he can put it on a bunch of pets. Any single target damage he does is actually going to be able to heal him. I don't know, it looks like he wasn't able to go for a proper damage combo, but he definitely needs to get those channels of insanities though. Sanity channels onto Rick if possible does go for a disperse at the end of the day. Trying to see if he close the gap, looking for a fear. Goeris, however, is not going to be able to catch up to Rick all that easily. He's going for Gateway. Trying to see if he catch up. Does hit him with a fear as the Doom Guard spawns in. Look at that thing running. Why has he got that Naruto run? What is happening? Why is his arms to the back like that? I've never seen that thing run away like that before. What is that? Is that just how he looks? Is that just his run away? Like when you hit him with a fear? Instead of just Naruto runs away. What is that? As Rick trying to see if he go for a proper tyrant, but I think he's looking to maybe delay it. Yeah, he's looking to delay. Goeris is going to activate a lot of his potential damage. I think that's where Rick is like, you know what? He's going to be out in the open. This is where I can do a ton of DPS. Stun onto Rick for a second. You just got to get a bit of damage. Fear on all those pets. That's huge. Standing next to the image that's going to get another fear going on the pets. Big channel. Is Rick taking a lot of damage though? Having to wall this. Goeris might just be able to make something happen here. Locked out on Holy for a second. More to call to follow. He does have at least a little bit of health coming back up very soon. Doom Guard needs to duck away from that thing immediately. Trying to see if he can run over Silence on Rick. You're kind of out in the open though. That's going to be a bit of that desperate. With the VE, needs to activate some kind of heal right now immediately. Unless you're going to be in trouble. You need a heal. Those pets are going to do a lot of damage. Just go for a fear. Needs a heal right here, right now. Stun around the corner. I think it's just over. Yet another proc of Doom with a grip by Leo before Rick can get a rip position. Looking to lock him out real quickly. Silence right after. Breaking out of that hit is going to take him out. Not going to let Rick get any value out of that escapes. Taking him down. Goeris did a great job here trying to make some damage happen. His Shadow's overtuned right now. Is it actually? I was thinking I was doing normal damage, but apparently I was doing overtuned. Didn't realize it. We did have a Frost Death Knight in our group, and he was like, man, this class does no damage. Now I'm thinking it's not his class that's broken. It's just Shadow that's overpowered then, because we had two Shadow Priests in our group and we were pumping, dude. We were doing damage. I was thinking we were doing great, and then Frosty can do less damage than a blood DK. So I was like, is it us or is it him? I think it's maybe a little bit of him, maybe a little bit of us. Who knows though? Orakana trying to see if he gets some dots onto Leo, who's kind of limited on his offensive pressure for a moment. As Orakana trying to see if he can See if he can potentially get himself another go. Got bleeds on Leo, so he's got himself lots of consistent damage. We're trying to figure out if he wants to go in full on or just back up out of this. Silence under Arcana, starting to get a little bit of damage from Leo. Is going to go for the Bark Skin, Heart of the Wild a little early, just to keep himself alive. Only 30% dampening, so he doesn't have to worry about too much healing. Suppression is going to go for a Trinket here a little early, but with the Frost and Spirit coming in very soon for Leo, it's going to be a lot of pressure. Seeing the Feral staying aggressive with a full Convoke. I don't know if he can interrupt it. Trying to see if he can heal through it. Looks like he doesn't have a kick for it. He's going to go for a stun, but he's in bear form at the very least. He's got himself the most amount of healing. Got himself renewal, so he's actually fully healthy. Staying in bear form. Trying to see if he can take down Leo while in bear. Might be able to do so actually with Heart of the Wild. It is amping up his bear form effectiveness. Might be able to make this happen. Leo got himself AMS with the Silence of Arcana Neko. Leo does not have a lot of health to work with. Wall out for Arcana with a bash. Does end up taking him out. Well done for the Feral Druid, but it's going to be stunned by Eloise. Looking for a big cleave. Is it enough though? Massive burst. Does it take it? So close. Sigil of Fear almost did it. Sigil of Fear almost did it. Arcana has to go for a lot of self-killing. Rejuve is up. Got a little bit of healing. Got himself a little bit of that blooming. A little bit of healing, a little bit of blooms, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Metamorphosis right on top of him. Looking for a big cleave down. Does end up taking it. With who's going to be next? Sadawa up next. Immediately, Eloise trying to follow up with some fell burst damage. Full burst out by the Death Knight. Eloise is going to have to go for immunity. Honestly, might have been a good idea to use it as early as possible. I don't know if you have any escapes. Does backflip out of there. Still, riders are in play. Shadow Meld for a second. Just to break the riders with a bit of a first aid. Try to kick the first aid. Oh, still getting some of the big Frost Strike Cleave, however. With Birdie going to be up next versus the shot. Oh, faded the grip by Sadawa. Full Void Torrent. So he's actually the Rift build. Whereas Goer's was the Archon build. This guy's the full Rift. Look at him. Shielding himself. Big Void Blast. Trying not to get interrupted. He's going to go for a quick channel. Silence with the kick. But I think he juked it. I'm not even sure. Shadow Ward Death is what he's trying to use. Does take it. Does take it. He does have 2 castles to go up against. But being a Shadow Priest, I think you do get pretty well. I think you do pretty well against casters. Rifty is going to be up next. The Breath, I don't even know how the Breath connected. Meteor is going to crash down. Birdie takes a lot of damage from the Meteor. Silence on the Rifty with a full Void Torrent. Got himself VE with a stun. He's actually going to get a lot of healing. Big Void Blast. Mind Games, another Void Blast. Rifty is going to be under a ton of pressure. Fade for a second for Birdie, as Rifty actually might just die. He does go for Ultra. I don't even know if the Ultra heals him actually, because he didn't have Mind Games on him. Does that actually hurt you now? Because I think they made it so Ultra is a proper heal. They can be reduced by dampening. Shadow Crash for a second does connect. He has a Shadow Crash that's a home and missile. He's one hit, but he knows there's going to be Cauterize. He knows there's going to be a Cauterize. He's being very, very careful to not Shadow Ward Death because it's just going to hurt him again. Birdie's at no help whatsoever though. Maybe looking for a Disperse. Maybe looking... Oh, Meteor though! Dodge it. Comments from Sidin. Fear for a second. Rifty breaks out of it. Sanity for a moment. Breath right after. Oh, Birdie! Did it not have a Disperse? Or was he trying to really hold it? What is happening? What is happening? Colby is going to be last on left. I thought Birdie made it just had it. Because he still had Disperse and everything. Maybe he was waiting for Death Repair. Crazy. Crazy. Colby just waddling around, dude, on his big old Chimera. Look at that thing go. It is a beautiful looking mound, though. Rifty out here. Trying to see if we can get some sort of a setup versus Colby. I know that the Chimera mount is not really all that unique, but there's like, how many Chimera mounts are there? There's like maybe about 10 with those Chimeras now, right? Or Chimeras. Maybe there's like 10 of them. There's not that many of them that use the same model animations and whatnot. Right? There's like 1 in WAD. Oh, big damage on Rifty though with the bolts. I think it might be lights here. Does he have caught? He doesn't have caught. It's over. Garments are 10 times better than Rylax. I do agree with that. Yeah. I do agree with that. Yeah, they're pretty neat. Versus the whatever mounts they had. I think there's only like a couple of them you could get in WAD. Those Chimera, the 2-headed ones. Then there was one in BFA, the purple one. That was pretty neat. Not super unique, but definitely unique enough to be like, yo, kind of cool looking. Kind of cool looking at the time. Wall out for Cobra as dampening hits 40%. We hit in the 8-minute mark. And Extinction got himself at least a little bit of cooldowns, a little bit of defense. Icebox still available. Reflect out for Cobra with a second BCC. I think kind of overlapped the two. Another word, and Succubus is going to be blocked though. Extinction does block a Ruination. Cobra behind the pillar, looking for a bit of the recovery. Extinction blinking in, trying to see if he can go for the big Phoenix Flames, Fire Blast, everything, getting the big procs going. Oh, not a second. Meteor down. Cobra cannot move out of it. Takes a lot of that free damage for Extinction. Catches him with the Succubus. Bolt right after. Does go for Invis. Oh, it does go for Fire Blast at the end. Well done, well done. What is this? Everybody had like the cleanest game. Everybody got a chance to play. Everybody's got a kill. Except for Guerreros, which I feel like he basically did the work for Rick. A lot of the damage he did basically went to Rick there. Let's go, boys. Hell yeah, bud. Hell yeah, bud. That was good. Let's get another one going. Rick and Johnny, let me know when you're ready. Johnny is ready. Rick is also ready. Well, hold on. Johnny is not ready. Need one ready. Good. We're good. We're good now. Now we're good. Dude, let's get some melee matchups. We'll try to get melee, man. We'll try to get melee. Today seems like a caster haven. And honestly, we don't get that many casters in duels, I feel like, compared to melee. Normally, on average, duels are populated by a lot of melee. Do we do Blade's Edge? Maybe it's the last map for the night. Lord, Ron. Let's do Lord Ron. Bit of a smaller map. Love watching these, but it gets the specs are capable of. Just to see what the specs are capable of. Yo, Evan, what I love watching in duels in particular is when you see an underdog spec. And seeing a really good player on an underdog, and then seeing how well they play. Because not a lot of players would say like a Frosty EK is really insane for PvP. It's not that amazing. But then when you see like Chills or Leo on EU walking in and just absolutely obliterate on it, it's awesome. You know what I mean? Mint, what happened? Can you send a link to have? Got a Discord? Yes. Yes, we have a disc. Should have the night bot spam the link in the chat from time to time. Did I join? Yeah. Do I not have Nightbot in? Okay, Nightbot is not in for some reason. I need to double check Nightbot, see what the hell is going on. Wait, did I save that? Yeah. One at a time. Let me double check to make sure that it's saved. Alright, cool. Good switch. Got ourselves Orakata Neko versus Cobra first up off the bat. And I'll try to see if I can communicate this while going to the night bot link, see what the hell is happening to him. Mordecol into Orakana, convoke the spirits, but he's not going to be able to stay on top of Cobra. That reflect with Netherward and the board and all that. That was so perfect. Does go for a big crash onto Orakana Neko, unfortunately. Big bites to follow. Try to see if he go for a port to get out of dodge. With a wall right after. Try to go for Skull Bash, but not going to be able to do much of that. Wall up for Cobra. So Orakana Neko just needs to line aside. This is the best possible. Shadow Fury stops it. Bonza fell. Does break it, walling up to try to see if he can just stay in and make some damage happen. Knock back out of Cobra, but it just does not connect, unfortunately. And for Orakana, that's an opportunity to get a bunch of bleeds together with a maim right after. Fear to follow. Does not have a kick for this one. Bolt one. Do you have a double bolt? Does get himself the Chaos Smother with a bolt. That is enough to break past the defenses of the Pharaoh. Just enough to break past the health bar and put the Pharaoh potentially on a bit of a back paw. Foot? Paw? I want to say paw works, right? Hind legs? I don't really I don't really know. This is gonna be Fear to follow? No, actually it looked like he was gonna go Mordecol Fear combo, but I think maybe you saw her kind of moseying over behind the pillar with that Mordecol. The Fear path would just put him in a bad spot. First aid, this is where Arcana needs to go for a Moonfire or something. I was gonna say Maim for some reason. Maim would work too, but Moonfire would be better. Just to break that heal. He's right next to him, trying to go for a kick, does not quite connect. Fear, but it's going to be Cobra with that wall pillar, trying to see if he can avoid it, trying to go for a stun, but he's still bled up. He's taking a lot of the bleed damage right now. Got himself that nether ward, but it's not really going to be able to do much. I don't think the swarm could even be nether warded. Pretty sure it can be. Going to be a skull bash off of that quick Fear, got himself an immolate, but Cobra, I think it's just a matter of time with those spines until he's just gone. With Orakana deck, it does get cleaved down by the Overlord, unfortunately. But it's still going to be able to get the hell out of dodge there with Leo charging in next. That's going to try to see if he can go for a big setup versus the Feral Druid. Does get hit with the root immediately. Oricado tried to see, I think Ludwig tried to go for a knock, but maybe not. He's gonna go for a clone. Silence. Big hits on a bear for him and it's over. He got a renewal. He can renew, but I don't think it matters. Yeah. He could have renewed, but I don't think it matters. That's a lot of damage out of the DK, man. Crazy. It is gonna be Satua immediately getting cleaved down by Leo. Got him some full burst of Leo. How'd you avoid that grip? Hold on. He definitely yoinked you with a grip, and then you just like, it was like, you know what? Nah, I don't want to get grip. You wanted a horse. Did the horse stop it? Is that what happened? Straight up, it looked like he got gripped. It looked like he was starting to get yoinked and was like, nah, I don't feel like it. What was that? I feel like Satua got cheated on a grip. Got himself another grip, grippy hands this time. That's about to be gone in the next patch, unfortunately. Silence to follow, and Leo does end up taking him out. Rick Meister trying to see if he can get himself a bit of an angle here. He got himself lots of pets. Destro this time around, so he's going to be able to play around the full Succubus build and everything here, huh? Sao Shivara, rather. He got himself Shivara look instead. Shadow Fury does break out with an IBF immediately. Try to see if he can just mosey around that Shivara, dude. He's trying to land the Mesmerize, or Seduce, rather. He does end up kind of getting clipped in the corner, but Rick wasn't able to really pass him all the way up to the platform, or tombstone. And is able to break away from Rick for a second. That is an Infernal in play, though. There's going to be a Leo. Just try to see if he can back up out of the Leo. Try to see if he can avoid Rick, but Rick is going to get whatever line of sight he can to get a couple of conflagrations here and there to continue the damage going. Hey, Dal, I've been watching for 10 years, my man. You're a bad Dark Spear, since your bad Dark Spear story, I just want to thank you for everything. My bad Dark Spear story? What, was it like a video titled My Bad Dark Spear Story? That was so long ago, man. I haven't played a Dark Spear in such a long while. Silence on a Rick. Trying to see if we can back the hell out of dodge. That's going to be a blind to follow for a second. Wall. Chaos Milk 1. Fear to follow. Unless you meant like the Dark Spear days of Dal were the bad days. Like since the bad moments, man. I've been watching since those bad moments. It's only proof there. Oh, Combat Rogues of a 5.4. Dude, yeah. Combat Rogues of a mop. I feel like now that I like... They were in a rough spot, man. They were in a rough spot 11 years ago. Damn, dude. That make me feel old here. What the hell? I feel ancient now. Well, thanks. Well, thank you for that. Leo trying to see if we could back the hell out of the behind the pillar. He needs himself a grip. Playing against Rick as Destro, however, is I think a lot more manageable because you don't have all those billion pets to deal with. That gateway, however, does counter that silence fully. They gonna go Nukabi as well. He needs to get a Shivara out in the open to stop Leo. Leo does have a slow in Shivara. I don't even know if he can reach him. It barely was able to reach him. It was waddling after him. I think it has like a 30-yard range. So if you can stay beyond 30 yards, you can actually probably avoid it. That's going to be Rick with a couple insta-casts back behind the stairs. Trying to see if we can back up out of the Leo. You can grip him. Does get the grip. Blind to follow. That's massive. Hey, that's huge. You get yourself another stun. Frost's Fury's in play. You stun hit the Rick as well as the Succubus. Try to stay on top of him best possible. Got himself a bit of potential damage. Rick just trying to see if he can float around. Does he have a port? Silence grips him in. I don't think he can port for a while. Massive cleaves onto Rick. Does pick up a Warlock Soulstone for a second. Mortal onto Leo. Probably going to want to go for a port here soon, yeah? Leo with a Lichborn does get big slows onto Rick. He sets up a gateway. I don't know if he can use it. He does use it. Grips him a little early, however. You got to wait until it lands before you grip. You do have Deathstrikes at least. That is an Infernal. Not going to feel good. Aya Kill Rock sets the Succubus right next to him. Maybe something you can make work off of this. AMS for the Succubus can be CC'd. Does not have a port out of there. Trinket and something. I don't even know what. I think maybe try to Mortar Coil. No, I don't think he had it. But Leo does end up taking him out with who's going to be up next? It's going to be a Major? Yeah, there's going to be Extinction up next. Extinction Cortez. Blasting him out with Pyros back to back. My God. With Ascension, try to see if he can get himself the angle. He just did a couple of these here and there. Little new video from 13 years ago. You sound completely different. It is hilarious. Yeah. Pretty sure it's called puberty. That or I've been straining my voice. Because I always was kind of like mildly quiet. Or mildly well-mannered, and I really haven't been yelling my lungs out and stressing my vocal cords until I started streaming. So maybe part of it, right? YouTube, recording, streaming, right? Word on my voice quite a decent bit, I imagine. Quite a decent bit. Part of it is probably puberty though. Oh, what was that? Okay, Leo did not have a lot of health to work with, but like he just walked up and poof. That was disgusting. But like in the best way possible. Halo out for Guerreros. He's got himself lots of potential damage. You just gotta get those channels in. He definitely got to get those channels in. Void Torrent, that's a good channel. You got to get the other channels. You got to disrupt on the shadow. Just gonna spam a bunch of holy spells. Walking out of the meteor. Fear onto extinction. Gotta get those insanities. But he's taking a lot of damage though. Hold on, extinction. Trying to see. He's like, you know what? I know you're gonna cast at me. So I'm just gonna pummel you right now while you try to get set up. Stun. Let's see if the damage. Let's see if the channel. Mindflay Insanity is going to be a ton of damage. Does get juked out on it. Hold on. Cauterize. Is it enough though? Block for a second. There's no help whatsoever. No more disperse. Try to go for healing. Extinction could still make a play. He's got breath. He's got meteor. Guerreros also can't move a lot, so you might just be able to toss a meteor on him, and you might not be able to run out of it fast enough. That is a Shadow Priest though. That is applied to the priest. Breath. Oh, trinkets. Try to go for a fear. Did not connect. Silence though does connect. Nova for a second. Do you just meteor him down? I think you just meteor him down, right? Does interrupt him. Meteor not used yet. Hold on. You can just meteor down on him. Does he just stop in place? No, doesn't even need to. Just a fire blast or two. Just a reverse blink. Couple of fire blasts. Singes him. With Eloise going to be up next. Extinction does not have anything. No cauterize. No block. Does get hit with a stun. With fear. I think it's over. Yeah. You had to tackle him down, huh? Just had to just linebacker him real quick. Just shoulder check him when you're right next to him. That is insane. Eloise trying to see if he can potentially stay on top of Rifty though. That is going to be Meteor. Metamorphosis almost immune to Meteor, but used a little early. Metamorphosis was able to at least immune some of those comet storms, crashing down little by little. As Eloise trying to back up out of that pyro. Oh, that's just so much damage. Birdie up next with a big Void Torrent. Got yourself a bunch of potential damage here versus Rifty. I don't really know what you can do at this point as a mage, though. Got yourself Void Blast, looking for a juke of kick. Silence to follow. Mind Blast. Too bad Void Blasts are gone for a moment. Breath right after. Does, I think, kick Birdie. Yeah, it does interrupt him. Meteor crashing in. Fear to follow. Rifty does have Undead Rachel, but I don't think he can use it once he uses a Trinket for 30 seconds. I'm pretty sure there's still DR'd. Does dispel it with a Mind Games to follow. Not giving Rifty much of a chance, though. While you don't have the big Rift damage, your damage is kind of like, you're just kind of chilling. Another Rift, big damage, big profile. Rifty might be in a lot of trouble. Ultra for a second. He still got himself that Rift right. Mosin right next to him with a Cauterizer right after. Rifty is left with not a lot to work with. Breath to follow. Needs a shield. Meteor. That was an attempt. If only he had a shield, then Meteor. That might have been the way. Leo picking up 3. Extinction doesn't end up picking up 2 though. Well done, well done. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's get another one going, boys. Yeah, we got a time for at least one more. At least one more. Rick and Leo, let me know when you guys are ready. Yeah, between the video and now, it's like 2 completely different people. I think I am a completely different person, to be honest. Compared to when I started YouTube versus now, I'd say I'm a very different person, man. Is the duels happening? Yes, they are. Yes, they are, Redbeard. You know more? Grab the red eye beard guy. Yeah, grab him. He's in the guild. Chatting up. What the hell? Someone entire family is a shaman? Yeah, that was cool as hell, actually. Do you get like a cool tier or something with that? Is Rick ready? Rick is ready. Johnny said, oh no. Never mind, need 1. Okay, list it up. Gotta list it up in LOG. And hopefully we'll find it. I'm not lead. Okay, well I guess you could tell them in party or something, right? Just say in party chat for Red Eye Beard. On what server? Outland. Red Eye Beard Outland. 1 sec. Trying to get you invited. If I can. No. Red Eye Beard is on. But like turn order, I got ignored. Oh, did it actually? That's weird. Yeah, I don't know about that then. Yeah, normally we just do a /roll, but if they get, I don't really. It's up to you guys how you want to do your turn order though. There's no like strict rules or anything like that. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm trying to see if I can get my bot to join. Wait, what? Wait, why is Nightbot so weird? Yo, Nightbot is not really functioning super well. What the hell? Wait, why is Nightbot? Why is it not working? What the hell? Okay, Nightbot, just work. Add to chat. I already have Nightbot. Okay, select, continue, and it just takes me to like sign in again. Okay, Nightbot broke or something. I have no idea. Okay, Nightbot. Is it broken? Okay, hold on. Let me try this. Nightbot dashboard. Maybe that's what I need. Because normally I have Nightbot in the chat. And normally it sends links and stuff, but I'm not sure what the hell is happening. Oh, now it works. Okay. Join channel. Beautiful. Alright, Nightbot should be functioning. Let me see. Mint. Nightbot should be working on the in the chat. Should hopefully see links there. Actually, hold on. Maybe I should double check it. Dashboard. Does it have my commands still? Commands. Timers? Oh yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, it's supposed to be sending out timers. Cool. Okay, Nightbot is online, apparently. Okay, cool. Hopefully Nightbot will start popping up. I think we're good, by the way. Never heard of it. It's a chat bot. Just spams links for me, lol. Yeah. Ready, beautiful. Sorry. I had to make you guys wait while I figure out the whole Nightbot thing, dude. Never again. Let's do Blade's Edge. Lock will be painful for the beginning, especially the demo, because you need a proper comp to win this demo if at least smart enough. Guys, what do you think about between Lock and Shadow Priest with Solo Shuffle? Probably Shadow Priest, yeah. I think Shadow Priest has control. You have stuns, silence, AoE fear, good defenses, and pretty easy damage with Rift build. So you can just straight up like set up a torrent into a Rift, dump a couple of DPs, and do a bunch of damage, spread dots. It's not easy, but I think Shadow Priests right now have gone a lot better and a lot tankier and a lot easier to pick up. It's still going to be rough when you've been trained by a bunch of melee, but I feel like it's a little bit easier than a Warlock. Warlock, maybe you could get some setups as Gestro, but getting kicked as Gestro I think is pretty rough. As a Priest, at least you got, you know, Swap, you got Desperate Prayer, you got VE, you got Disperse, all fairly short cooldowns. You got at least CC that you can follow up with, right? So that could at least be, in some cases, a little bit easier. As a Warlock, though, positioning is important. Landing your jukes is very important. And landing some opportunity for some casts is also very important, too. So I think it is a little bit tougher. 680, where are we at? Pretty beautiful. Also, chat, I went to the store earlier and I got enough stuff to make chalupas, so I'm really excited for tonight, dude. It's gonna be huge. Who's first up? Is it Cobre? Is that Louise? Eloise versus Rifty. No, it's not Rifty, it's Extension. Never mind. Extension, try to see if you can put Eloise into an Extension. Big hunt to follow up with Abyss Engage right after. Whatever damage you can do while meta is active. Now is the best time to make it happen. Try to see if you can stay on top of the best possible. Blade Dance, doing quite a decent bit of damage. Is that meta out of Eloise? It is meta out of Eloise. Dave's able to get some pressure, locking him down little by little. Yoshimi Solo can still watch Arena, lol. I do think arenas need to get a bit of a refresher. That is for sure. I think maybe like a class change, a class PvP refresher, or like just an arena refresher in general a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I do feel like things get really hectic super easily. Ah, Louise! Does get pummeled down with Pyroblast out of full combust. 100% crit, big damage value out for Extension. Sitting down for some mage food really quickly while Goeris is making his way over. Is gonna poke around, get a couple of plinks here and there. Pyros with a couple of procs. Dude, look at the procs, man. As a fire mage, Frostfire does get a full Void Torrent. Not playing the Rift build. So you got him to a big go, but not playing the Rift. So you don't have to worry about that Rift damage. That tentacle ain't gonna feel good at all though. But he got him some Meteor. Goer's not a lot of mobility on him. Faded that Meteor as he comes crashing down. Extension does end up knocking him back. That is an ultra. Try to see if he can recover a little bit of health. He got shields, but why his shields? They're gonna get purged though. No, I guess Goer, she can just remove the shields as soon as they're up. And the dot damage ain't gonna feel good. Extension might just have to cauterize this. Might have to not can block it. Never mind. All you can do is maybe shield and maybe sit down for some food. He has to shield. Invis does get a freeze onto Goer's though. That's an opportunity for you to shield to eat. He is playing what looks like Shimmer, however. So it looks like he's got mobility, but won't be able to get out of stuns at all. Whatever food you can get right now is the only food, only you're gonna be able to get on here, man. Tag team arenas. I don't know about tag team arenas, but they're definitely gonna change up arena format, I think, make it a little better. Gonna be big Frostfire damage. Pyros has got himself a combust. I don't know if it's a proc combust or an on-use, but looks like he is gonna get taken down though. Just not a lot of health to work with once block and cauterize are out. That's his cheat death mechanic. Gonna be immediate disperse out of Guerreros. A 10% dampening is gonna dampen some of the healing he can do while in disperse, but that's definitely gonna help with those bleeds. But he's trying to see if he can get some pressure back onto Orakana Neko, at least trying to see if he can deny him catch it a re-stealth. If you can get him back into combat, do some damage to the Feral, deny him a re-stealth, try to go for a kick. That is a fear. That is a fear. That is huge. But doesn't put him back into combat, unfortunately. Unless he can catch him right here with the halos, is going to put himself back into combat, but it's going to be a stun. Some big channels, and Goer's Trinket to follow. Convoke, you got to find a way to stop it. Convoke is doing a lot of damage. Big hits, big bites. Flame, though, is going to be maybe enough. Goer's gets a Jukata another kick. Orakana left with no health whatsoever. DPS are getting dumped down with yet another sanity. Trying to see if he can heal through it while in bear form. Tanked up and bunkered down while in bear. Just looking very, very sturdy. Just sacrificing damage. But he's very, very sturdy while in bear. There's going to be yet another DP. Shadowboard does. It's not enough, but does get himself one last fight channel. And does end up taking him out. That is some huge damage out for Goer's though. Melted a Feral Druid. That is the burst of an Archon. If you can get those halos proccing, that will stack up a damage debuff for the target. While you have the damage buff for like anything that isn't periodic damage hits harder. And you get full burst. Ooh, it's so good. It is so strong. And you just need a couple of flays and you got a couple of those big channels on him. Red Eye Beard gonna be up next. Is that a Dark Iron Dwarf? It is a Dark Iron Dwarf. There it is. Red Eye Beard. I like that set you got going on. What is that? Oh, the chest piece. I see that thing. Wait, is that what the cheap shot looks like for female dwarves? It's almost like you got bat swing. You can put your clasp your hands together in like a fist and pummel them. I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen it. I feel like in all my time watching people play PvP, I almost never see female Dark Iron Dwarves. I feel like if it's anything male dwarves, female bells, male bells, Night Elves, also female male Night Elves, male and female humans. Never seen a female dwarf, but got a full death mark, everything available. That's a lot of dot damage, but the channel Alpha Garrus is huge. He is going to need some healing. Just try to see if he catch up in health. That's a full Void Torrent. Red Eye doesn't have a lot to work with. Dots of evasion. Still dots are rolling in. Has an advantage in case he needs to. PI Alpha Garrus might go down here. Aegis brocking. Vanish Alpha Red Eye. Looking for more Garrotes. Trinket Alpha Garrus. Needs a bit of healing. Doesn't have taken it, but the blaze is still on him. How would you live that? Silence immediately onto Rifty. Just all he has is a silence. VE is available, but I don't think he's going to be given an opportunity to catch up. That was some crazy wild damage, not only versus the Pharaoh, but an assassination rogue on top of that. That is insane. With Leo going to be up next, try to see if he can position next to the altar. He's like, I know where you're going to go. I know where you're going to go. Looks like AMS does not stop the knock, but it looks of it. That Shadow Priest was amazing. That's Archon praise for you, man. Archon can do a ton of damage. It is a setup heavy build, but it can do a ton. Did Rifty alter, or was that just a reverse blink? Might have been a reverse blink, yeah. Always good to see Shadow Priest defeat a rogue. For real, dude. Normally, Shadow Priest get bullied by rogues. And I'd say that as a rogue maid. Normally, they get bullied by them. Rifty with a quick breath, trying to see if he can get a meteor down onto Leo. Does get himself a quick little grip there. As he got shields and everything available, Pyro flying out. And Leo just waiting for that shifting power from Rifty. Just gonna have to wait him out, I think. Just gonna have to wait him out. And Rick, what is Rick doing? Rick is positioned out there. I think setting up gateways and everything. It is gonna be Rifty potentially in a situation where you could sit down, mage food, while Leo was able to do a quick manic bandage for recovery. Is gonna be Ring of Frost, trying to avoid it. Rifty setting up an altar way early. Trying to see if he can chase after Leo, get a couple of procs. Oh, that's actually probably the play. Yep, you can do that, and you can just get altered. He's actually in a great spot to do so. As is going to be Leo chasing after him, trying to see if he can get some sort of a setup. With the silence to follow. Rifty can't even blink out of it, can't even go for breath or anything. He got himself a reverse blink. Breath. Meteor down. Hold on, Leo could take a lot of damage here. Does take a huge hit though. He's still standing in the Meteor. That's not going to feel good at all. Blinded and Rifty, but more defensively. Deathback just to give himself a little bit of health. And this Ogre is telling him to just finish each other. As Leo got himself a little bit of health to work with. But he's trying to be very careful. He can't really heal. Trying to go for a grip with a hit just enough to proc a cauterize on Rifty. He has himself last bit of defense here with a shield holding off some of that damage. Ultra apparently available. Leo got himself in an angle where he was able to wait him out. Meteor is not going to feel good unless you move. Looks like he still got clipped by it either way. Should be able to take him out. Not enough. Rifty does get himself a reposition. He sees a couple more casts, but no, Leo doesn't have taken him out. And Rick is already in the middle of the arena. I'm not really sure I like Rick starting out in the middle like this, but what else could he do at this point? And Rick is just going to summon even more pets, Tyrant and everything. Leo just has to run. He has nothing left. I think it's down. I think it's lights for Leo. Curtains. I don't know what else he could really do in that situation. I think it's done. Rick does it upboarding on top of with a mortar call. Another word just to make sure he doesn't get gripped back in. And Leo, though, is just all on a full defense. Dropping that Death Indicate to slow down the pets. That's about all he can do. 40% dampening does end up interrupting a lot of his healing. He doesn't have a ghoul, I don't think. I don't think he has a ghoul. Doomguard around the corner. You don't get poking out of there at all. At least I don't think he can. No death pack, so you can't really get heals from that. AMS, I don't even know if that's available. AMZ is available. AMS is up right now. Can at least avoid some of that magic damage from Rick and the pets. Some of those pets. But it's just not an amazing spot right now. Wraithwalk just trying to see if we can back up out of there if at all possible. Oh yeah, he's just not in a good spot at all, man. Not in a good spot. All I can do is just whatever chip away heals from that main pet. That's about all he can do. But there's just more armies getting summoned up by Rick. Just more and more demons. He's trying to use the ramp up to actually avoid the pets as best as he can. Catching the quick silence onto Rick. Is that enough damage? He does have a Dragon's Breath or a Frostman's Fury. Riders are going to be in play. Now the word he can grip. He's limited on grips for a little bit. Does grip him in. Mortal Coil does give him a bit of that DR. Rick trying to see if he can maneuver, but he's going to get gripped out again. Rick with the full defenses. Might just need to wall this off and everything. Axe toss on the Leo cannot break out of it. Does have a death pack. He's going to go for a death pack. I don't know if he can just stay on top of Rick. He's going to slow down these pets, try to see if he can live. Rick, it feels like he could just stay in. Full Tyrant. Not going to empower all the big pets. He just have it to empower whatever he's got. Not a lot of pets, though, unfortunately. Leo does have AMZ and AMS, I think, by this point. Should be able to use either one of them. He is gonna... I guess he could have used AMS or something there to live the pets a little, but I don't think it would have helped him. I think he knows he needed AMS for a Mortal Coil. Axe toss on the Birdie, who does get the Rift back down into Rick. Is gonna go for Gate to try to see if he can get away from Rift. I think the Rift still connects, so doesn't it? Mortal Coil does trick it out of it. Rick with a full wall. Rick's got still two more people to get through, Birdie and Cobra. I don't know if he'll be able to. Fear by Birdie plays back to back onto Rick with a silence to follow. Does go for a little bit of burst into a bit of DP. Mind Blast right after. He's got himself lots of potential damage. Fear out by Rick onto Birdie, who got himself just burst. No, don't disperse. Just prepare is all he's got. B is all he's got. Void Torrent is all he's got. Try to see if he maximizes some damage. Wait, just live. Red the Rift, do it. Oh, he does win it. He does win it with the Rift at the end. Holy, go Airs with them 3 though. That is so good. That is so good. There's Nightbot, dude. There's Nightbot. So at least if you see the Nightbot in the chat, you can join our Discord through that. There it is. Oh, that was so good, boys. Oh my God. Holy moly. That was awesome. That was sweet. That was some great duels there, boys. I think we're gonna have to call it here, though. Chat. I think we're gonna have to call it. While not the best we want, he did really good. He's a really good player, for sure. Definitely, for sure. For sure. We're gonna call it here, chat. Gonna call it here. Mostly because I got work to do. I got a lot of work to do, dude. Between like videos that I have for the current patch and getting food done tonight, I'm cooking up a fine meal, dude. I'm making some chalupas. I planned for this and I need some time to actually put it all together, but I'll be making some chalupas tonight, so I need to call it here. I need to get some work done, make some proper food. It's messy, it takes some time, but it's worth it. And chili. GG's everybody. I appreciate you boys. You guys are wonderful, beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. He says he's surviving a lot for your own pets. GG guys, that's pretty good, honestly. You gotta feel them pets, man. Is it a little counter for demo? Yep. A little bit of a counter, but you have to feel those pets, man. You kind of just have to. It's a lot of damage, and if you can control the damage, it's kind of like how Leo just runs around slowing your pets to nth degree, right? He just kind of has to. But yo, appreciate you boys. Thanks for popping in. Thank you, Rick, for helping with groups. I really appreciate it, man. Really helped out. Next week, more duels. I actually also would love to see if you guys will be ever interested in EU versus NA PTR duels sometime. Like, if we could ever get enough bodies on PTR to test these changes before they come out. I'm sure a lot of them are going to be overtuned for a good while, but that'd be fun. But for now, though, next week, proper NA or EU duels on live realms, not PTR. So next week, not PTR. Unless you guys all hop on PTR all of a sudden, then maybe. I'd come for PTR duels. I think that'd be so fun. Yeah, literally test anything and everything. Any item, any trinket, whatever you want to try, whatever's broken. Have at it, honestly. I think that'll be really, really fun. But yeah, thank you all. You guys are wonderful, beautiful. Hope you guys have a good one. Actually, also making EU duels for gold if interested in guys before Dal. Yeah, if you guys want to check out Rick's stream and EU duels for gold, more than welcome to, man. If you want to link your stream in the self-promo section on our Disc channel, Rick, on the Dalaran channel Discord, more than welcome to, man. Dawnlight Red Pala. Yeah, dude, Dawnlight Red Pala would be everywhere. We'd be busted. I'd do it for one day. Yeah, I'd do all the busted stuff for a day, though. I'd be okay with that. maybe, yeah. Alrighty, you guys are wonderful, beautiful. Thanks so much for popping in. Have a great evening. I'll catch you guys next stream. Alrighty, boys. Alrighty, peace.
You got me running in a circle. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? Round in a circle. Back where I started, I was stuck here like glue. You keep me on the loop. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? Round in a circle. Back where I started, I was stuck here like glue. You keep me on loop.
We are not alone. They are among us. As the skies light up, they believe we are blissfully unaware. But this activity by night